Hello, is it meta you're looking for? Cause no one's watching us, cause no one really cares. We're about to start the show. I don't think anyone is there. What's up, mother suckers? Somebody's going to show up and party with us tonight. Who would be the first person to say something? Excuse me. Guess would be me.
Ew.
What? It's a fucking burp. That shit is normal, motherfucker. No, it was no. Trust me, you'll know when it bubbles. Because I can burp and like fart and cough and sneeze at the same time. I've done all four at once before. It's hard to do, but I've done it.
You think you're the only one?
Well, prove it then. So how you gonna talk about me? You'll know when I'm bubbling because it like it come real like deep down inside me, and then I'm gonna vomit, but I'm not really gonna vomit. It's just the air bubble that's coming out. See?
Ginger beer.
Oh, I don't like. I'm not a big fan of ginger beer. It's so peppery.
It's.
You know what I mean? Like it reminds me, right? But it's the sharpness of it though.
It's got boy.
You know what I can't? Oh my God! You ever had sorrel? Sorrel. It's a West Indian drink. But the Rhythm and Raps place, the vegan spot, they make sorrel. I can't wait to go and try it.
Life Alive?
What? No, it's called Rhythm Raps. It's up on Conrad.
Oh damn.
I've been seeing like the advertisements. They have the Impossible Burger there and stuff. So I definitely want to go check this place out.
Okay, cool. That's one I haven't done.
I know it's one you haven't done. That's why I said what I said, mother sucker. Not you, motherfucking pay attention.
Showtime.
You think I'm talking to talk?
Galaxy on the Life Alive.
I've been to. I don't. Which one? I haven't been to Video Galaxy. I've been to Life Alive. Ghost took me there for my birthday, and it was pretty fucking cool, man. Pretty fucking cool.
Nice.
Oh my God, the food. Even like, cause I don't like brown rice. That's the only place in 48 years where I ate something that he ordered this dish that had the brown rice, but it was because of the sauce. It was like this curry sauce or something.
Whatever they put in it.
Oh my God, if you could make that for me every day, I'd give up white rice and eat brown rice. I truly would. But yeah, because most brown rice, I don't know, it's just too grainy for me. I do
the wild rice. I like wild rice.
Wild rice isn't bad. My mother used to make wild rice growing up.
Stuff.
Yeah, well, you're talking about the Spanish rice. But see, that's the problem. Once you get into certain ones of those too, it's the colors and stuff. Why is it turning that color? In most cases, it's usually just the seasoning. Oh, I know. Rice. I mean, absolutely. I know that.
And then
I know.
I
know. But I've put ginger in my rice before. I've actually put ginger in my rice before. It sounds weird. Yes. Depending on what you're eating, it gives a little bit of a flavor, a little bit of a pop. Yeah.
Well.
See? Learn something new.
Get up in the kitchen.
No, don't hurt nobody, please.
Oh, whatever.
I don't know if you can cook. You're trying to scare me. I can see you just like poison everybody. Poor Jason, how he has a terrible story. My mama can't cook. He ain't gonna help you. Alright, let me send you some stories. Because you're gonna do the news tonight.
I don't know.
Who's watching? Who's the mother sucker watching that's not talking? You looking ass motherfucker. Who are you? What are you doing? It's going to be a really great show, folks. A really great show. Oh my God. Emmy Rossum is leaving Shameless.
What?
I don't have no fucking clue with it.
I don't watch the TV.
I don't watch much TV.
What's going on?
Although, you have to watch Who is America?
4 minutes.
Or What is America? That Sacha Baron Cohen show? Yo, I'm surprised they ain't killed that dude yet. I'm sorry, but that fucking show is... His last episode, I just watched it today, has OJ on it. That's all I have to say.
Oh.
OJ Simpson.
Wow, dude.
You heard it, folks. OJ motherfucking Simpson. The juice is loose. All right now. I didn't kill nobody.
So.
Show your ride.
So.
The juice is loose, baby.
Yeah. I watch a little bit of Hulu. I think I might have 2 or 3 programs on there.
You hear me? We got like 4 minutes.
Okie dokie, I'm getting ready to sign in. Hang on.
Why don't you sign the fuck in?
Wait. What'd I just say?
Ooh, I'm going to try to get loud. You want to see me get crazy up in this motherfucking piece? Trust me.
Oh my gosh, really?
What?
3 minutes until showtime.
I mean, who out there
during the show?
Who out there doesn't know that?
There are literally people who will be in the chat chatting, but will text or call me like they don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like really, they'll literally be in the motherfucking chat, but be calling me and texting me and shit. Like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna stop to answer that phone call. I should do that shit though, right in the middle of the show. Put somebody on blast one time. Just put them on fucking.
You know what? That's a good idea. I want to do that.
Start doing that. Just put them on speaker.
Damn.
Motherfucker, you're live.
Man, this guy. Oh my gosh. You ever have somebody like talk to you and just talk?
Don't forget that the mics are on.
I know.
So you know. Okay.
I don't care. He don't listen to the show.
How you know?
He don't listen to me either.
He might be your #1 fan. He just started listening right now.
He just wants a sounding board. You know, I don't have time for it.
But I thought women were shoulders to cry on and ears to...
Usually.
She said usually, but not for that motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm like, wow. And the story hasn't changed yet. So it's like the same thing over and over again. Like it's like somebody presses repeat.
They're stuck on stupid.
They're
stuck in the same fucking place. That's all that is.
Oh 2 minutes until showtime.
Don't be stuck in the same place, motherfuckers.
No judgments, just an observation.
Just an observation.
Just an observation. You know, maybe he's mirroring me in a way, but I'm a listener. So how is that a mirror?
I'm a listener. I just can't listen.
That's a bizarro mirror.
Well, in Bizarro World, I told you I woke up in Bizarro World.
Oh my god.
I woke up like this. Oh shit. What kind of stories you gonna send me? I'm gonna send you like 50 of them. Damn. You got a fucking problem with that?
What's up?
Oh, you're gonna love this one. Yeah, hopefully you can hear the show on Blog Talk until he.
1 minute 20 seconds.
I know.
Oh, you heard her?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I got a big ass mouth.
1 minute until showtime.
Here's the first.
Wake up, Halushka.
Babushka, wake your ass up.
Welcome, foolish mortals.
Look, it's
What's up, nigga? No one cares about that rat. Nobody. Everybody.
Don't get him excited. Now he thinks there's food in the house.
Ain't nothing to eat for that motherfucker.
You know he's a predator.
You're a predator.
Dude, really?
What?
How many stories am I doing?
I don't know.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4,
Okay.
3,
Excuse me,
2,
folks. I burped.
1.
Deal with it.
Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to my hood. Ain't nothing normal. You can take a walk in my hood. Everything paranormal. Yeah. We got something for you. Buckle up, I'ma show you where it's at. We gon' burn a couple blunts, we gon' pop a couple caps. I ain't talking about 4-5 on the strap. Psilocybin driving, so we headed off the map. What you know about? Taste the color, seeing sound with a crystalline. Turning nothing into something when we out the mind. Vandalize the lies with the truth. Ain't nobody wanna take shots, cause it's proof. All we ever wanted was the answers. Looking for unique, but our vision keep us phantom. There's a black man, ghost writing in a pentagram. Up from the place where our thoughts meet the program. Not too many open to the power that they hold. Just know that when we shine, it's the reflection of your soul. Supreme beings moving, watch the galaxy implode. We are not alone. If you're not normal, welcome home. Yeah. Welcome to my hood. Ain't nothing normal. You can take a walk in my hood. Everything paranormal. Everything paranormal. Yeah. We got something for you.
I got this.
Yeah, I gotta hold on to the feeling. I be seeing visions through the folds of the prism. Projecting all wishes, anything I want is given. Paranormal vision, you can call it supervision. Control the superstition, make them wonder how we do it. They seen us in the mud, now we out here making music. The paranormal movement, they stronger than what you deal with. If Jesus was just a fraud, then hallelujah for Judas. Caesar is not the mob, but we had to be Brutus. They hate when we on our job, cause persecution execution is useless. Proof that what we doing is more than just making music. Utilizing the truth, drop it off in the hood, showing what's really good. The feeling is understood. We know just what it means to get it by all means. Supreme being open, watch reality explode. We are not alone and we not know when we'll go home. Yeah.
Welcome to my hood.
My hood. Ain't nothing normal.
You can take a look at my hood.
My hood. Paranormal.
Everything paranormal.
Yeah. We got something for you.
You can be immortal.
Yeah.
If you really try to run, step into the portal.
Step into the portal.
From Boston to outer space, we're gonna take you all over the place. So sit back and enjoy the ride, because this is Paranormal Hood Live.
You're hearing everything, right?
20,000 police in the whole town! Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig
Half an hour to do that, and you're gonna wait till the show starts. Typical Negro. All right, what's Hood Hoodies? Welcome to the Thursday night. This is Paranormal Hood Live. We are live and direct in the God of Knowledge Studios, and of course, Metaphor is over there fucking with the mic, making as much fucking noise as possible. So, can you introduce yourself and not let the mic introduce you, please? It really ain't that difficult. Why do y'all make that shit?
Metaphor here.
Hey, it ain't that hard, man. There you go, right there. That's it. It's in your face. I'm sure you've had.
You need a paper towel?
I think you do. Over there making all that goddamn noise. What's good, folks? We are back. It's another Thursday night. You know how we do. We are here chilling in all this motherfucking heat. Summer's almost over. Ready for summer to end? Better?
What?
You ready for summer to end?
Yeah.
A lot of people say that. I don't know, man.
I like the fall. That's all.
I like the fall too. I like the fall to get here when it gets here. Like this 90 degree, 100 degree, 105, but none of this shit bothers me. I'm not saying 125 wouldn't bother me, but that's why I live here. I don't live in the motherfucker's Sahara Desert. You know what I'm saying? But I don't mind this heat. I feel like we only get, if we're lucky, 3 full months of a good summer. I feel like this summer we got it. And enjoy it, because then in about a month or two, motherfuckers gonna be bitching. It's cold. Just saying.
70s is good.
80s is good. 90s is good. 100s is good.
Dry heat.
I don't give a fuck if it's heat, humidity, whatever. I'm just saying, I live.
Cause you don't have hair.
Even when I did have hair, I didn't give a fuck. I used to have dreads. I had more hair than you on my fucking head at some point, woman.
I can't breathe.
You never seen pictures of me with dreads?
Yeah, I've seen them. But I can't breathe.
I'm just saying, I could breathe. Well, I mean, yeah, y'all got breasts. Y'all got a whole bunch of other shit to deal with that men don't really have to deal with. So, trying to keep y'all's coochies and shit fucking too moist.
He said the N-word.
Underbelly of the fucking.
He said the N-word.
The breasts and shit get all. Yo, I know a chick who grew up, my sister's friend. She used to put deodorant under her breasts on dogs because she had such big breasts and it would sweat so bad that she would. You're melting your seat.
Huh?
She put deodorant under her fucking breast. I'm not even lying. No bullshit.
Hey.
But I think that kind of falls into that get in where you fit in type of situation. Like, if that's what you got to do, it might seem extreme. Shit, I tell people I use
Put
them.
in all the folds.
Yo, any of my Dominican friends, any of my Latin friends, or anything about Lemisol, I talked about all the time. I use Lemisol on my balls. I don't give a fuck. I like fresh balls. I like that tingly fucking feeling. I know my balls are fucking fresh and clean, so I use some shit on. So everything ain't for everybody. So she wants to put deodorant under her titties. She did. It's the same. Gotta beat the heat however you can. But I ain't complaining about the heat. I love it. I feel like with the heat, you can go jump in a pool. You can jump in a cool shower. You could get a cool drink. With the cold, you can't really go jump in some hot shit. It's not like we got hot springs around us or some shit to go jump to. I ain't got my fucking jacuzzi in the crib. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's cold. But you can't really beat the cold. Your heat goes out, you're fucked. Your AC goes out, you're not fucked. You're just not. You can adapt to that. And water and shit like that. There's so many things. We're in New England. There's water all around us. If you that fucking hot, go jump in the fucking ocean.
Yeah, it's right there.
Go to the fucking MDC pool or some shit. I'm just saying.
Right
I know
there.
I'm ranting a little bit, folks, but it's the beginning of the show, you know. like to have fun, just have a little conversation. Right now we're discussing the weather because it's about to change drastically up here. Nick Lucchini, excuse me. Fall camping. Hey, listen, my first time camping in a long time was a few weeks ago. I'm all down for it. The cooler, probably even better. We got fortunate with our weather. It wasn't that hot when we were up there.
Yeah,
because you saw the hike that we did, like a 3-4 mile hike, and you know, normally, I mean, I was sweating, but again, I'm also, you know, a lot lighter than I was a year ago. But still, like, I'm all for that. The fall hiking would be cool as shit. I got a problem with that either. We're gonna be taking advantage of all that shit. After fucking Lucy, what's up, acid head? ASMR. I don't know what that means. Please explain. Okay, you have to explain what this stuff means. But all right, folks, let's get into the show. Tonight we're going to be talking about one of the, in my lifetimes, one of the biggest conspiracy theories or thought, maybe it could be fact, I don't know, that I've ever heard about. But tonight we're going to be talking about the moon landing. Everybody's welcome to chime in. You think it's real? You think it's fake? Why do you think it's fake? Why do you think it's bullshit? Why would they go about all that? Blah, blah, blah. It's going on since before I was born. So we're going to have this conversation, and it's going to be a long and fun conversation. I think it's about time we've had it. We haven't had this conversation yet, really. And we talk a lot about the moon, so it's going to be fun tonight. So you're more than welcome to chime in. If you're listening any other way but YouTube, I suggest you go over to YouTube. Jump on our Paranormal Hood live channel. It's streaming live. You can chat there. The chat's always fucking awesome. People kick it, questions, conversations, everything there. What's up, YNL? Will Height, excuse me. Or you can go there and fucking watch us smoke weed. Watch us chill in the studio. See what we do. For some reason, people like to watch us. We appreciate you watching us, so we're here. I'm smoking this blunt just for you. Look. That smoke right there is for somebody who might be at work who can't smoke right now. Somebody who's on the road who can't smoke right now. Maybe your child's next to you and you can't smoke right now. Maybe your parent or your siblings or someone around you won't allow you to smoke right now. This smoke's for you. I'm thinking about you. Just know that, okay? Alright, so let's get into Paranormal Hood, folks. Anybody who's new, let me explain to you how the show works. Once we start the show, we talk a little bit. Then we get into our news. After the news, we play some music by our favorite artists, some of your favorite artists. And if you don't know, listen to the music, you might find the new artist. If you don't understand something, I suggest you go look it up, because some of these words are complex in some of this music, because it's thought-provoking, conscious music that's going to get your vibration right, get your mind going. And then after that, the break, we come back, and then we're going to spend those next 2 hours talking with you about the moon landing, fact or fake. And then we have the last bunch segment, which gives you a little bit more time to talk. So you can definitely be part of the show tonight. It's a great time to call, tell us what you think. You might think we're fucking crazy for even this being the topic. All you got to do is call 563-999-30-tree and press 1 when you get in that call queue when you're ready to talk, or when we tell you we're ready to take calls. And sometimes we just do Russian roulette and take calls whenever. So don't be scared. All right. So, folks, anybody who doesn't know us, let me explain our style. A lot of times you'll see us just jump on YouTube in the middle of the week. We do random shows. Haven't done as much lately because we've just been busy as fuck. But what we're doing down here in this Garden of Knowledge Studios is we spend our time doing a lot of research. The same thing we suggest to you is exactly what we do. We spend our time down here watching the news, YouTube videos, just random videos, different postings, checking newspapers, checking the local news, checking any source where we can to find that weird. That strange, that odd, that different, that not necessarily mainstream.
Because you may not hear it on your local news, but if it's making the news, and it's here on Earth, and yes, I said Earth, it could be Middle Earth, where Schmeagle's down there looking for the precious, or maybe it's up to the moon. What you see right behind me where I say Michael Jackson still resides. He's alive and he's about to go on and do his 8:30 performance right now. Hee hee! Or maybe it's up to Mars, the supposed red planet, which I will touch before I die. My feet will be on that planet. Or maybe it's somewhere beyond, someplace we haven't seen it. Something we don't know about or haven't found, but if it's out there and it's making paranormal news, this is the segment of the show that we do on Thursday nights that we call Smoke Kings Paranormal News. Well, folks, but Smoking hasn't been able to join us yet.
How dare you use that word?
I do get all scared, Meta.
He's
not able to join us yet.
Metaphor over here to my right is going to kick off the news. So Metaphor. Or you can do Metal 5.
What is up for a second?
What goes on in our paranormal universe, omniverse, multiverse, whatever verse?
I had to jump on this one right away because I had a lot to say about it when you posted it earlier today.
Okay.
Celebrities apparently doing reptile and other animalistic temporary skin implants now.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, implants. Have you heard of skin implants which are in fashion now? Question mark. They come in different forms like reptile and other animalistic forms. They're being endorsed by celebrities like Kim Kardashian and Chrissy Teigen. I guess that's her name.
Yeah, John Legend's wife.
Oh, okay. Who are amongst the first to wear his implantation, which looks like alien-like body modification. Then there's a video here, and goes on to say, human quoted as a fashion brand from the future that provides immersive theatrical experience. It takes these fashion implants to the front of the fashion scene, and they also made model Adrija Pajic.
What you said.
Pajic? Okay. And Queer Eyes Tan France, the first to appear with additional body modification pieces, including shoulder horns. Yeah.
Shut up!
Alla Nicola Formichetti
What you said.
times Lady Gaga. And a ruffled Tudor collar. It looks interesting.
Tutankhamun, you said?
Tudor collar. Like they did back in England in the 1600s. But it's skin with like, it looks like crystals are coming out of it and they probably light up.
It's prosthetic. In essence, it's just a prosthetic skin.
Okay, so it's not underneath their skin.
No, it's
okay.
It's a prosthetic skin. It's just FX makeup, pretty much is what it is. I've actually recently saw, and I didn't post it because I didn't even know how to take it. This woman who had silicone implants, and you can attach these rods somehow to the silicone. These like wires or some shit, and the same thing you see in that video. The breasts were glowing. She was literally in a nightclub, like in a dark nightclub. You can see her fucking titties just fucking glowing.
Lit up boobs.
Lit up titties. So it's just a silicone effect. But
wow.
So in essence, it's basically just someone taking FX makeup and these celebrities. Let me push it to the edge. I mean, when you have people like the guy, the Lizard Man and shit like that, who've gone extreme, have their tongue separated, different things done, their eyes blacked out or yellowed, and their eye color changed. All this extreme, but this is more temporary stuff, and again, it's just these. I mean, it's fun, I guess. I mean, it'd be cool around Halloween. I mean, it is that time of year, so I imagine that's probably why it's being pushed right now and coming out. So these celebrities are going to have some intricate, extremely fucking dope costumes. Like I said, again,
changes my rant then.
I mean, you can still rant, but I had to look at it kind of objectively because at first I'm like, what the fuck? Well, you know, for certain things. Now, do you want to make that everyday fashion? That's why I have a problem. And I don't have a problem because do what you want to do, but it goes on my theory I've been pushing for a long time that one, Halloween is the perfect time of year. If you wear anything that we consider to be paranormal or abnormal, you fit in. So at the same time, is this just a push for our culture as a whole to become used to seeing things that we don't normally see, that kind of push the boundaries of what we're used to seeing? If you see the Lizard Man walk down the street with all this stuff, you're going to be like, what the fuck? Like, no matter who you are, it's still cool. You know, I think it's cool looking. Hey, whatever. It's your body. Do what you want to do. But the normalcy of things like that, is that what's kind of being pushed? Because I think Kim Kardashian and her, like, a lot of them might be fucking aliens or something anyway. So, who knows? They're trying to make it normal for us.
Okay, so I'm going to go here. Humans exhibition is set to debut during New York Fashion Week for these freakish accessories as part of the exhibition. A pair of biological heels, which are implanted into the foot, will also be featured.
Well, implanted, now that's a whole different thing. I don't want to see.
Yeah, that looks like a actual shoe.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like really spiraling.
Yeah, it looks like the Fibonacci sequence wheel.
Folks, I suggest if you want to know what we're talking about. Unfortunately, the way YouTube works, you can't put it up on YouTube. But just Google it. Y'all motherfuckers have Google. Clearly, if you're watching and listening, you have some kind of device. So Google it. You can see these images for yourself. Sorry.
A quote from their website, their story reads, "If you can change your body as easily as you can change your clothes, does your appearance lose all meaning, or does it mean everything?" Okay. And here's what people have to say about these skin implants. You have a bunch of people talking about what they think about them. I'll read a couple. People in the 1980s, people in 1980, in 2018, they'll have the cure for cancer. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. Next. Okay. Thank you, but no thank you. Humans resemble robots enough already. Always walking around with their heads down, phone in hand, without having light bulbs implanted in our body to blink with our heartbeat. That's your nervous system, and your body is a temple. Take care of yourself. That was interesting.
Yeah, like you're attaching these things. Again, it sounds crazy. You they look some of those attachments and shit, like the chick with the fucking, with the boobs that light up and stuff like that. I don't get it, but yeah. Whatever.
Here's somebody else's response. All the technology in the world, and we still can't find a way to give her an actual talent or real heart. Sad face emoji. So sad.
Oh, you sad?
Yeah, it's so sad.
Hey, she ain't that dumb. They can say whatever they want to say, but hey.
Well, this is what I have to say about it. I've been doing a lot of reading on Ascension and watching some videos, and just, I've been going through some stuff. Being empathic, you got to dig deep, bring out the stuff that needs to come out, and fill it with like love and unity. And you have to eventually choose, whether you want love and light and peace and all this other good stuff, or if you just want to remain in a situation where you're doing what people tell you to do.
Or just doing what other people do in general.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like on autopilot.
That's the program of life.
So you have a chance an opportunity to create your own life, or you can have your life created for you. I'd rather have the pen in my hand, and so I've been, just digging deep. Anyway, when I saw this ad, I was like, wow, as far as what I know from Ascension, once you've chosen, and once you receive your light body, and once you're totally in 5D consciousness, that your body, your DNA, everything, your makeup is going to change anyway. And like 2 years after you're in, you'll be able to manifest physical changes to your body at the blink of an eye.
You do realize how advanced what you're talking is to the average person.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'd have to do a whole show on that, because
videos, y'all.
I get what you're saying, but yeah,
right.
You're basically talking about the ability to do that, but you're still talking about a linear way of thinking. It's still very earthly, human, just right. So that's the way the average person is looking at it. Again, everybody wants to be Superman. If you could fly and do everything that Superman does, we want this body to be able to do that. So this is just a way of conversion. It's a way of making yourself a character, especially somebody like Kim Kardashian, especially someone who's an actor, actress, model, whatever these folks are there in the public eye. It is just another way to make yourself a walking billboard. Look at me! That's in essence what it is, and that's part of our daily life. And
I can tell you, I don't want any seashell feet.
I mean, unless I'm doing a movie, unless I'm doing a video and stuff like that, or it's Halloween or something fun, I don't need my body to light up or something like that. But again, some people like her, she needs to do that. Like a chick in the club with her boobs, everybody could see her. Some people, there has to be a spotlight on them. That's why she is who she is, and she does what she does.
Wow.
So, let's move on. Let's go to another show. Let's go to another story. We can get on this one all night. I don't want to jump on them all night. Light yourselves up, folks.
What else is in the news? Okay. FDA approves magic mushrooms for treating depression. The move follows an expansion of magnetic pulse therapies, but this one is a little more psychedelic. Okay, the Food and Drug Administration, there they go again, has taken an active role in approving new therapies to treat depression this week. On August 23rd, the Inquisitor reported that the FDA transcranial, yeah, that's what that said. Transcranial magnetic stimulation to help ease treatment-resistant depression. The new TMS treatment cuts down the number of treatments needed, as well as significantly reduces the time for treatment from more than a half an hour to just 3 minutes. On August 22nd, the company called Compass Pathways announced that the FDA had given them the green light for a new treatment for depression involving psilocybin or magic mushrooms. Compass Pathways, I sound happy about that, don't I? Compass Pathways is a life sciences company founded in London, England in 2016. Oh, new place to visit while I'm there. Okay. They're developing a clinical trial using psilocybin therapy for European and North American patients with treatment-resistant depression. Okay. Nice. I got lost. Hang on. Is that it?
I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute.
Are you on mushrooms right now?
There's some more stuff. Wait a minute. Hang on. Hang on.
Okay. Can you get the news going? Okay.
Alright.
Sheesh.
Okay. Oh, here we go. According to the news release issued by Compass Pathways, 216 patients in 12 to 15 research sites across Europe and North America will be dosed with psilocybin. Trials will begin in the UK this month, with other sites joining in later. The release says the dosed patients will also receive psychological support. Researchers have known for some time that psilocybin showed promising usefulness as a safe treatment for depression. In October 2017, the Inquisitor reported that patients in a study conducted by Imperial College London felt less depressed and happier after psilocybin treatments. The new study undertaken by Compass Pathways is a Phase 2B study, meaning it is a rigorously controlled trial that demonstrates whether or not a treatment works. If the trial is successful, it will be followed by Phase 3 studies, which compare the new treatments with the traditional treatment standards. We're excited to be starting this landmark trial, which has the potential to transform lives, said George Goldsmith, Compass Pathways chairman and co-founder. Okay, depression is the leading cause of ill health and disability worldwide, and treatment-resistant depression affects more than 100 million. Wow. Wow.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. I know. I know. It is a huge...
Everybody is suffering some form of depression. Everybody. I don't care. Anybody says they've never been depressed is full of shit. It's what you do with it. It's just getting over the hump. We've talked about that. And psilocybin is a great way to do it. If you do it right in the right setting, they're putting people in the right setting for it. Everybody who takes mushrooms aren't in the right setting for it. So. Yep.
It is a huge unmet need, and the trial will teach us more about how this new approach might address it. The Berkeley Wellness blog of UC Berkeley explained how psilocybin can help with emotional regulation. Untreated patients with depression generally experience increased blood flow to the amygdala, a part of the brain which controls emotion. After treatment with psilocybin, researchers observed reduced blood flow to the amygdala, which they correlated with a decrease in depressive symptoms in all 19 subjects 1 week after treatment, and in nearly half of the participants 5 weeks later. This mechanism wasn't previously understood. The blog also reports that the FDA is considering approving the drug MDMA for treatment of PTSD because it increases feelings of trust and compassion. Let's see, where's the rest? Oh, is that it?
Is that it?
I'm looking.
I'm gonna jump in and take the next story.
Okie dokie. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this one's done.
It's over?
It's over.
It's over.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
Alright.
You up.
I got a story, folks. These are the ones we like to call.
Now that's the dumbest shit I've heard all week.
Paranormal investigator arrested for shooting gun at ghost.
Oh my
You're an
goodness.
idiot.
Stop it.
A paranormal investigator in Connecticut has found him. Of course, he had to be in fucking New England. Excuse me. A paranormal investigator in Connecticut has found himself in hot water with authorities following a bizarre incident in which he shot a gun at what he suspects may have been a ghost. According to a local media report, the weird event occurred in late July when Kristen DeVoe called 911 in the town of Tallinn to report a masked, rifle-wielding intruder in his home. In the midst of the call, the ghost hunter was apparently so frightened by the would-be burglar that he fired off 2 gunshots at the figure. However, when officers arrived, they were baffled to find that there was no signs of any break-in at the home, nor any indication of something amiss when a police dog was enlisted to look for strange scents. Excuse me. When investigators noted inconsistencies with the ballistic evidence as compared to DeVoe's account of what took place, he mused to them that there are some things he just can't explain, like seeing ghosts. The ghost hunter went on to explain his work as a paranormal investigator and that he'd recently encountered a spirit during an expedition.
Epic fail.
In light of that experience, DeVoe concealed that although he was concerned that people may question his sanity, he could not rule out that the burglar had actually been some kind of paranormal entity.
You are one pathetic loser.
Sorry. Citing the lack of evidence for an actual break-in, officers asked him if the intruder could have actually been a ghost. DeVoe reportedly responded, "It had to be." Alas, it would seem that the police in Tallinn ultimately found his paranormal explanation to be untenable and subsequently arrested the ghost hunter this weekend for several charges related to the incident, including illegally discharging a weapon and improperly using the emergency contact system.
Wow.
You suck, you jackass.
You know what?
Did this really happen?
It did happen, yeah.
Shut up!
Damn.
And I'm going to give him the award. Dude, the ghost police didn't show up. I don't know what you thought was going to happen. You need to... I don't even know what to tell you what you need, my brother. You need some serious help. He shot at a ghost, but because he was recently out and he must have bought something home, and whatever he bought home apparently was a rifle wielding. Woo! He gets it again. Say no to drugs. Okay? Anything that makes you do some stuff like that, just say no to it, man. Just say no. There's no reason for it. That's sad. He shot at it. If he thought it was a ghost, did he think shooting at it? Yeah.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Go ahead, Metaphor. You can hit him with another story, please. Get me past that.
Yeah, this one's interesting. Possessed couch set on fire. Firefighters in Louisiana stumbled upon a strange scene when they responded to a call about a blaze at a trailer home and learned that it was caused by a bizarre exorcism involving a possessed couch. The weird incident, which reportedly occurred in the city of Denham late last week, was allegedly the work of one Jolyn Wynn, who was the owner of the RV, apparently unsettled by the belief that there was some kind of spirit in her midst. She told authorities that she set fire to her own sofa in an effort to get the devil out. Fortunately, Wynn was not injured from the impromptu exorcism and only suffered a brief spell of smoke inhalation. After she was treated for that, she was subsequently arrested for arson. Oh, I'm sorry. Oops. Hell yeah! And sadly, it appears that her home was largely destroyed. Okay, while the idea of the couch becoming possessed may sound unbelievable to some, having heard of the haunted couch of Waco, Texas, we're a bit more inclined to give her the benefit of the doubt.
The haunted couch of Waco, Texas. Bum, bum, bum.
Wow. You know, why not bring the couch outside? That would just make sense.
You are one pathetic loser.
Why set the couch on fire in the first damn place?
Yeah.
Jackass.
What was that going to do? You going to burn the fucking spirit. Listen.
If it's the devil, and the devil is supposed to be,
the devil is fire
from hell, and hell is supposed to be hot or burning. You know, why would fire burn him? Who likes that?
Hey,
people say I'm gonna burn in hell. I laugh.
You know what?
I was born in a star.
Is that the end of the story?
Yeah.
You know what? We're gonna get. You know, we've been lucky the past few weeks. We've been getting like triples. Tonight we haven't. I'm gonna set my own couch on fire.
Okay, it's a hell of a drug.
Like, let me just turn around and set on fire. That's gonna get rid of those ghosts.
Now that's the dumbest shit I've heard all week.
You got one more story over there, and then we'll. Setting my couch on fire. Shooting at. It was a ghost, man. I shot at it. I know it was there. I seen it.
Do you want me to take this one?
Yeah, I don't even know what else I sent you.
Okay. Bizarre chemtrail protection person sends man to the hospital.
Say that one more again.
Bizarre chemtrail, in quotations, protection potion, sends man to the hospital.
You're an idiot.
We may have another 3P tonight.
A German man's strange plan to protect himself against chemtrails wound up backfiring as the concerned conspiracy theorist had to be hospitalized when his idea went wildly awry. According to the local media report, the bizarre incident occurred in the city of Waldshut late last week. An unnamed 59-year-old resident of the community apparently grew so worried about purported chemtrails being surreptitiously sprayed in the sky that he devised a rather curious method to keep himself safe. Authorities say that the man brewed up an odd concoction of shells, polyester resin, which he believed would somehow shield him from chemtrails. Unfortunately, in the process of preparing the weird mixture in his garden, the man stumbled and spilled the material all over himself, as well as on the ground around him. As one can imagine, the odd potion proved to be particularly irritating to the skin and difficult to remove, leading the man to call for help. Although rescue workers who arrived on the scene were able to provide some treatment for the injuries sustained from the mishap, the man ultimately needed to be hospitalized. First responders also dug up the patch of ground in which the mix had seeped, while warning neighbors to keep their doors and windows closed due to what was, presumably, and ironically, a toxic cloud of chemicals unleashed by the chemtrail-fearing man's misadventure.
You suck! Yeah, jackass.
Perhaps the most perplexing question to come out of the odd episode is what exactly the man planned to do with his protection potion once he had finished putting it together, since clearly applying it to his body was not part of the plan. While we ponder that, Coast Insiders can learn more about geoengineering and the chemtrail conspiracy theory by checking out the 2018 edition of the program featuring filmmaker Matthew Landman.
Wow.
Not a Coast Insider yet? Sign up today.
Thank you to
Okie dokie.
Coast for that one. Wow.
Lovely.
Let's give it to him.
Now that's the dumbest shit I've heard all week.
I was going to paint my car with it. I was just going to put it all over my car, so when I ride around in my car, my windows up, the chemtrails won't be able to affect me.
It was supposed to be spherical protection.
Was it make this
Spray it up and around him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that type deal.
Okay. That's really all I can say to that. And on that note, folks, we have another 3P. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause to all the fucking idiots who've made us what's great sound bites over the last few weeks. Literally 3 for 3 with these fuckers. Okay. But,
ridiculous.
Well, all right, folks. Well, this is the point of the show. I'm gonna take a break. Play something real quick for you. Shout out to my man.
Hi, this is Jace, and you're listening to my favorite radio show, ParanormalHooD Live.
I know you're back in school, so go to bed. Shout out to Jace. Shout out to everybody who listens. At this point in the show, we're going to take a quick break, folks. Play a little music for you. Get you in the mood. check out the artist, check out the music we play tonight, and then come back and chime in. Let us know what you think. Folks have already said some things and have already hit me up with words and ideas, but the moon landing, fact or fake? Did we land on the moon? Let's talk about it tonight on Paranormal Hood Live. Don't go too far. We will be back.
Who's in the shadows? Who's ready to play? Are we the hunters or are we the prey? There's no surrender and there's no escape. Are we the hunters or are we the prey?
Surrender like I'm creeping on the come up. Light it up just like the 4th of summer. Doing magic like a sorcerer on them. Gust the wind, take away corners. Time is precious, I ain't got a second. These ain't verses, these are constant records. 111 333 555. I get the message. They don't want no smoke, they don't want no static. Gotta want it more than they want you to have it. Walking through the madness, looking at the demons. So apocalyptic on this canvas. Prophesizing like a prophet, it's unreal. Ain't no use in using logic. There's nothing they can do to stop it. I'm about to take off in this ride.
Came down from the 9th dimension, no surrender till we cut the tension. Call me Cinder from Killer Instinct. But my body goes on fire when I rap in the instinct. Ain't nobody on this planet make a god surrender. Goes for any corny, any fake pretender. Transmute energy, I'm an organ bender. You can catch heat, I don't care who sent ya. Watch how I fuse every letter I use into a lyrical enlightenment. I pick and I choose, and every word I say I let it up right into the music. Get you faster than lightning, I'm the rapping suits. Am I really Ares, the god of war? I am every human that is being and more. Who ready to play? Who be in the shadows? I'm the infinite creator, you ain't ready to battle, no surrender.
Who's ready to play? Are we the hunters or are we the prey? There's no surrender and there's no escape. Are we the hunters or are we the prey?
Get about the mind, Triclops, telepathic eye. Fibonacci process, I'ma multiply by the amount behind. Rise, unfold like a lotus flower. By design, Rome gets stopped by Selassie I when them shots are fired. Nitrous oxide, this rocket science spit. High five like a roster guy. Top 5 playlist, check Spotify. You doubt the job, you need not apply. Eye to eye, open wide. Fiber optic sight like binoculars, focus high. Disengage like a bodhisattva, that local consciousness, all goodbye. Even if one soul survivors on the road to righteousness.
Who's ready to play? Are we the hunters or are we the prey? There's no surrender and there's no escape. Are we the hunters or are we the prey?
Spaced out with whoa.
Anunnaki, spaced out with it. Anunnaki, I'm spaced out with it. Spaced out with it. Anunnaki, spaced out with it. Anunnaki,
Yeah.
spaced out with it. Anunnaki,
Yeah.
spaced out with it. Anunnaki, spaced out with it. Anunnaki, coming to America like King Joffrey. Came in here to get the resources and I get the money like I'm Junior Mafia. Looking like I wouldn't read up. Looking like I might be King Tut. I don't even try to name mug. All the talk, it just might get you beamed up. Looking at this planet, we done came up. I just came here with that green stuff. I'm a giant to you little rappers and our body slam them all like Tango. They don't know what they should name us.
Came from the sky and taught them strange stuff. Call us demons, call us angels. Call us guys, call us tables. Taught them how to do the mathematics. Taught them how to do the biology. Niggas try to say Illuminati, but they ain't knowing that I'm Anunnaki. 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 Spaced out with it. Anunnaki. 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 I'm spaced out with it. Anunnaki. 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 We love all y'all women, we do them properly. Here in this triangles and isosceles. We was the ones who inspired Socrates. We was the ones who gave up the technology. We was the ones that was on a mission. Y'all was the ones that made up religions. Y'all was the ones couldn't comprehend it. I don't even like the definitions. I'm driving, ain't no license bill. I just came from the beer. I just met with the mayor. The president wanna know if I can chill. I've been standing out like an ovulus, and I've been channeling into the power grid. Kinda like a ventriloquist. Got him talking to the puppet head. Hieroglyphics with the spaceship. Chris Columbus with the iPhone. Mess around with this and get your mind blown. Anunnaki. 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 Spaced out with it. Anunnaki. 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 I'm spaced out with it. Anunnaki. 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 Spaced out with it. Anunnaki.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweigh the dangers to justify.
Conspiracies. Everybody always talking about conspiracies. Everybody on the lookout for their enemies. I try to tell them all what's up, but they ain't hearing me. Conspiracies.
Little value in ensuring the survival of our nation.
Everybody always talking about conspiracies. Everybody on the lookout for their enemies. I try to tell them all what's up, but they ain't hearing me. Conspiracies. To the 13th, from know I'm looking crazy, seeing some things. Young players spitting all the game, but they don't listen. Niggas call me insane. Got me feeling like the doors. Everything is looking strange. Everything is looking like they pull the wool over eyes every day. Hell, love strong as fake. The moon landing never made it. We ain't never took our own pictures. What if this was a spaceship? What if this was a matrix? Ain't no escaping this matrix. What if Satan was God? What if God was Satan? Conspiracies. Everybody always talking about conspiracies. Everybody on the lookout for their enemies. I try to tell them all what's up, but they ain't hearing me. Cause vampires in Hollywood, they wish you would get up in this industry. I know you wish you could. What they do? Tell me what they did. Piece of cake, they got the magnet on the fridge. Call them up, they let the piece of man deliver kids. Politicians, billionaires, presidents, Ninja Turtles, every one of them, they need the murder on. So many things going on, but you ain't never heard. Conspiracies. Everybody always talking about conspiracies. Everybody on the lookout for their enemies. I try to tell them all what's up, but they ain't hearing me. JFK assassination, 9/11 cover up. Aliens posted at the area 51. Secret societies control the world. Yeah, secret societies control the world. The JFK assassination, 9/11 cover up. Aliens posted at the area 51. Secret societies control the world. Yeah, secret societies control the world. Conspiracies. Everybody always talking about conspiracies.
even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger.
Look at me, I'm the one that you came for. I'm everything you ever wanted, no change though. I'm the cheddar, the cream, the guap and the cream, the bread and the butter, my man make the dough. I'm the reason niggas kill folk and make the lies that you call true. I'm the reason why they call troops and drop bombs on the lands and they call truce. I'm the false truth. The American dream ain't nothing it seems until you believe and make me your king. Be slaved by me and these shackles are free. And they got diamonds, man, look how they bling. I'm the reason why they rap and the reason why they sing. And why niggas told gas just to jack everything. I'm your purpose for living, forget everything but my lies are our truth. Their lies are truth. If you catch us alive on a ride, I provide you with truth. Just listen to the lies are our truth. Their lies are true. Why you waiting on God to decide and finally realize it was all just a lie? I got my eye on you too, making sure you brainwashed through the YouTube. I'ma get your kids lost in the most views, show them how I boss move, trying to fit in God's shoes. Spitting bars, no lawsuit, but when the consequences fall through, watch it all fall down till the goat don't move. As the violence ensues, I broadcast it all on the news and tell you there's no choice but lose. And tell you there's no voice but that of my own. If you value your own, stay quiet or get silenced like phones. I am all in your home, I control what you do, what you buy and consume. I make truth out of lies, and if you don't comply, I send Jacqueline Hyde to make sure that you die. Their lies are true. Their lies are truth. If you catch us in a lie, wanna ride, I provide you with truth. Just listen to the lies. Their lies are truth. Their lies are true. Why you waiting for God to decide and finally realize it was all just a lie? How you living is a lie. What you dreaming is a lie. What is best, how you dress, the power is sex. Even every truth is the false pretense. Because their lies are our truth. Their lies are truth. Why you waiting on God to decide and finally realize it was all just a lie? Say goodbye to everything you knew. You're now faced with the demon in you. I'm the evil that you try to hide. Those thoughts are suicide, homicide, genocide. I'm hated, it's more masochistic. Hades couldn't fathom this shit. I'm the reason why grip exists, bitch. Put me in the room with the purists. Betty coming out like Judas. Show me all the truth and I shoot it. Put holes in the honest man movement. Cause the honest man stupid, yeah, the honest man useless. Ain't no money in the truth, and the love of money is my root. So as long as you dummies stay hungry for the bread like seagulls, I'ma spread evil on the wings of an eagle. I used to be arrows and olives, now it's money and power. I took heroes and scholars and turned them to villains and martyrs. I'm a limitless author. Watch you paint a pic so sick with the blood of your kin and the tears of revenge. Watch my masterpiece unfold in the end. Here, you can see it better if you sitting on these rims. And I'll give you all of this money so you can have all of the influence. And I'll think it's all just so funny cause I gave you the truth. Now look what you do with it. Exactly what I wanted. Keep frontin', hoping eventually it'll mean something. Cause when it's all said and done with, I'll remain to do the same to the next generation of lames that can't love. Their lies are truth. Their lies are our truth. If you catch us in a lie, wanna ride, I provide you with truth. Just listen to the lies. Their lies are our truth. Their lies are truth. Why you waiting on God to to the side and finally realize it was all just a lie. How you living is a lie. What you dreaming is a lie. What is best, how you test the power is sex. Even every choice is different, false pretense. Because their lies are our truth. Their lies are truth. Why you waiting on God to decide and finally realize it was all just a lie?
They don't wanna give me shows, they don't wanna see me. That's alright. I'm working on this magic, I'm a motherfucking genie. Floating on this rug, roasting this bud, everything kung fu, I'm a magi. Come through when I'm that high. Always got a couple fungi, what I'm talking about. I got a whole tub full of mushrooms, I think I'm a shaman. You ain't 18 grams, yeah, why you scared what you doing? Why you playing with yourself, stop playing with yourself. Dive in, go hard, what your heart beating for? Think you gon' drift too far? Need to surrender, bar. I'm a high as shit, fly under clouds. Mind equipped, I go round for round. Ball for ball, need all them. Ball of y'all like Spartan. Like who the hell to let the God in? I got cappy vines in my garden. Gold all on my pathway. Spit it like it's venom, let the mind spray. Libations, I'ma pour 'em out. For my goon goon one time. Libations, I'ma pour 'em out. For my goon goon 2 times. Libations, I'ma pour 'em out. For my goon goon 3 times. Don't trip, the ancestors got you. Don't trip, stay true, they gon' follow through. Don't trip, I met them in the dark room. Don't trip, they taught me in the mushroom. Don't trip, the ancestors got you. Don't trip, stay true, they gon' follow through. Don't trip, I met them in the dark room. Don't trip, they taught me in the mushroom. I'm a motherfucking guru. Cook it top shaman noodle. Put a curse on you, I do voodoo. Naga don't come from my family. Revive my whole tribe gon' ride. Portal open, I'm gon' slide. EMT, I'm gon' ride. Probably think I'm out my mind. Really, I don't give a fuck. If you want what I'm on, you should levitate. You be lying, man, you hella fake. I ain't judging, but you lying, need to meditate. Really, I don't give a fuck. If you want what I'm on, you should levitate. You be lying, man, you hella fake. I ain't judging, but you lying, need to meditate. People think cause I'm conscious, I ain't got no fucking problems. Naga ain't nothing changed. Blame it all on retrograde. Psychedelic hip hop, really I make that. Try not to speak from my ego, but I'm flyer than the eagle. High as hell like seagull shit. Try not to cuss, but I'm the shit. Hell yeah, I love myself. Big homie told me he love myself. I got a rose quartz, I got some citrine. I think I need a grounding star. Don't trip, the ancestors got you. Don't trip, stay true, they gon' follow through. Don't trip, I met them in the dark room. Don't trip, they taught me in the mushroom. Don't trip, the ancestors got you. Don't trip, stay true, they gon' follow through. Don't trip, I met them in the dark room. Don't trip, they taught me in the mushroom.
Vandalize with the truth. Ain't nobody wanna take shots to this proof. All we ever wanted was the answers. Looking for unique, but our vision keep us fancy. Take a fact, man. ghost writing in a pentagram. I'm from the place where our thoughts meet the program. Not too many open to the power that they hold. Just know that when we shine, it's the reflection of your soul. Supreme beings moving, watch the galaxy implode. We are not alone. If you're not normal, welcome home. Yeah. Welcome to my hood. My hood. My hood. Ain't nothing normal. You can take a walk in my hood. My hood. Everything paranormal. Everything paranormal. Yeah. You can stay dirty. We got something for you. You can be a movie. Yeah. If you really try to rise up into the yeah, I gotta hold on to this feeling. I be seeing visions through the folds of the prism. Projecting all wishes. Anything I want is given. Paranormal vision, you can call it supervision. Control the superstition, make them wonder how we do it. They seen us in the mud, now we out here making music with the paranormal movement that's stronger than what you deal with. If Jesus was just a fraud, then hallelujah for Judas. Caesar is not the mob, so we just had to be Brutus. They hate when we on our job, cause persecution is useless. Proof that what we doing is more than just making music. Utilizing the truth, drop it off in the hood, show 'em what's really good. The feeling is understood. We know just what it means to get it by all means. Supreme beings moving, watch reality explode. We are not alone, and you're not normal, welcome home. Yeah. Welcome to my hood. My hood. My hood. Ain't nothing normal. You can take a walk in my hood. My hood. Everything paranormal. Everything paranormal. Yeah. You can stay dirty. We got something for you. You can be immortal. Yeah. If you really try to rise up into the portal.
Yo, what's up, guys and goddesses? It's your favorite mirror, the Supremes of the Ohio Valley, and you listening to Paranormal Hood Radio.
Peace to love, everybody out there. This is Paranormal Hood.
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says. Like dumb. I'm smart, and I want respect.
Alright, what's Hood Hoodies? Welcome back. This is Paranormal Hood Live. We're live and direct in the Garden of Knowledge Studios. I'm your host, Jiggy.
I'm Smoke King.
Oh, you remembered yourself this time, huh? Cool. Glad you did. Shout out to Supremes of Ohio Valley, of course, with the dope Paranormal Hood theme song.
It's my theme music. Every good hero can have some.
Yo, nobody won that night. We were going to give a giveaway something, but no one could figure out what movie that was from. So I'm going to give y'all a quick one, but you got to answer this in like 10 seconds. I'm not giving anybody any time to fucking go and Google this shit. My jersey, throwback jersey, Cavs number 21. You have 10 seconds to answer it. I have a timer right in front of me, so I'm looking. Come on. And I know there's a little bit of a delay, but if you put it in, it will be in there. Let's see if there are any real Cavs fans. I know a bunch of people in Ohio. Supremes of Ohio Valley just played their track. They could have answered it maybe if they were here down here right now. See? Does anybody know Cavs number 21? It's throwback jersey. Dope ass name too. I'll give you a hint. Not a typical name. Going once, going twice, boom, that's it. There's a little bit of a delay, so if you answer, it may show up. I'll tell you who it is later. It's dope jersey, dope concept. You know who it is? Do you see what's on the back of my jersey? I'll show it later. I'll turn around for everybody who doesn't know. But we're back here in the Garden of Knowledge Studio. We're ready to kick it. And tonight, I have a topic. One of the first conspiracies I've ever heard of. But hold on.
I'm going to step off the limb. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Or was it? Or was it? Did we go to the moon? That's tonight's question, folks. Excuse me. Had to cough. Get it out the way. Clear my throat. Tonight's question is, did we go to the moon? Is it fact or is it fake? Now, let me tell you, I'm 48 years old. My whole life, it's something that really, didn't really think about. It was kind of status quo. One of the most interesting ways of me to put it and getting an understanding of how important this was, how important to the people who were here, how important to the people who were alive at the time, how important it was to the world to watch something like this. And to put it into perspective, how I had a gentleman who I met one time at a party. He was from England. Very, very smart man. Had a great, intelligent conversations, man. We probably all the group were talking for hours. It's about different various things. And of course, I'm chiming in. I'm, the least educated person probably in the room, but educated in what I do and what I know. So I don't speak about shit I don't know. But anyways, so speaking to this man, I asked him, I said, well, what brought you to America? And he said, I'll tell you. I'll simply tell you exactly why I came to America. There was one thing that made me want to come to America, and that was when I watched them go to the moon. I thought that was the most fascinating thing in the world to me, and to this day it's still the most fascinating thing to me to know that mankind went to the moon. And because America did it, I wanted to live in America, I wanted to be educated in America, and I wanted to do things the way Americans do things. I was like, wow. I wasn't alive when this happened, so it didn't touch me the same way.
If I was talking to him, I would have been like, that's cool, because when I was a kid, I wanted to go live in England to be like James Bond.
I never wanted to be James Bond.
I did for just like a little bit, but you know what I'm saying?
Oh my
we went to the moon. You got James Bond.
007. I can't be James Bond. There's a huge controversy about that anyways with Idris Elba. A couple people on Facebook who chimed in, they had more of a personal conversation than I did about it. I'm like, whatever, man. But I couldn't be James Bond, so it was nothing I aspired to be, but I get it, though. But yeah, just him telling me that, I at the time, I couldn't relate to the exact personal experience he had because I wasn't alive when this happened. He was a few years older than me, so he was alive when this happened. And then he said he just kept, when he finally could watch it, because one of the things that Smoking and I kind of thought about was, as we watched the YouTube video and stuff, and he watched more of it than I got to, and you're talking about a 3-hour video of the supposed actual moon landing, and that you think about the folks who were watching that at this time. Most of these people had one television, if that. I don't. Did they even have? Yeah, they had television. Sorry, some people had radios. But some people
not every house had TV even back then.
So people probably gathered.
They did.
They did things to make this, and you only got to see it once. There was no recording it.
One DVD.
Yeah, there was no VCRs. There was no DVRs. There was none of that. There was no TiVo. There was nothing. Once you got to see that, you saw that. So you imagine that the world pretty much almost stood still.
Nobody saw that footage again
for years.
Until they internet.
Basically, yeah.
Well, I think when TVs became bigger and stuff like the 80s and cable and stuff, they started to show some of the footage and stuff more or whatever. But yeah, it took years, 2 decades at least before people could actually watch the whole thing again and everything and experience it again. They had to, it was right there. There was probably more pictures of people watching the moon landing than there was of the actual moon landing.
Oh my god.
The whole world's in awe.
Because the whole country, it's one of those things when the whole country came to a stop just to watch that.
It was groundbreaking. But here we are all these years later, and with the great thing called the internet, being able to go back and look, and people literally piecing it, taking apart piece by piece, frame by frame, every little oddity, every little thing that couldn't be explained even by the technology standards of that time, folks began to wonder, did we actually go to the moon? And I had never thought about it. I never really thought twice about it till you start to see certain things on the internet. Even before Paranormal Hood, you start to read little things, and you start to see people, as the internet started to grow, people started to pick this stuff apart and come up with theories and ideas, and it gets to where we are now. Did we go to the moon? And I'm one of those people. I'm not 100% sure we did it. Now, I'll preface it by saying, I'm no astrophysicist, I'm no scientist, I'm none of those things that probably require someone to be able to sit down and have a a conversation by an educated standpoint, by someone who's read a lot of books and went to school and did all this stuff, and put my fingers in there, understands how the universe works, how gravity works, how the Van Allen belt, all these different things that come into play. Because there's so many different things involved in just going to the moon and space travel alone, just leaving Earth, leaving our atmosphere, stratosphere, hexasphere, gasosphere, blah 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 blah, all these type of things. Because there's 100 different scenarios that you have to go through. Now, I'm not saying that, man.
There's fucking million different fucking things you got.
I was making it. There's a lot of variables. Let's put it that way. And
sorry, Adriana Gibson. Yeah, MythBusters. Yeah, I'd believe them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a TV show. What else are they going to say? I get what you're saying. I mean, again, anybody's allowed to believe. I just MythBusters, anybody else, it just doesn't do it for me. I'm my own MythBuster.
I'll say this about the moon. Yes, we've been to the moon. Did we go to the moon when everybody watched it on TV on July 20th, 1969? I don't know if that was real. I don't know if that was real, but we have been to the moon. There's evidence that we've been to the moon, and we can, you know, we have been to the moon. We've left stuff on the moon and everything like that. But I don't know if the footage they showed us and everything that they showed us was actually the real thing. That's questionable. But yeah, again, we have been to the moon. I agree with you there, Adriana Gibson. We did go to the moon. We have been to the moon. I can get some lasers and we can go outside and we can point them at the disc that we left up there. And then the only way you could do that is because there's man-made objects on the fucking moon that we could go and point those things at. If you point them next to it, it doesn't reflect back. But if you point it at the reflector, it will reflect back. Even though the whole lunar surface is a reflective surface, but it's this special, these reflectors, they're really special reflectors, so it's going to bounce back a laser and stuff like that. So there's ways to prove that we have been on the moon. But that actual footage when Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong are up there and everything, that I'm a little skeptical about.
Just a little bit leery.
And now with modern technology, and I can watch it over and over and over again, I'm still skeptical about it. It's still got some questions about it.
It was too expensive to fake in the 60s.
Nothing's too expensive to fake when you're the man.
Nothing's too expensive to fake when you go out and get one of the best directors in Hollywood, and he's got a whole story to tell about it too. Now, whether
money's not an object to fucking fake in the whole world. You're thinking in terms that don't mean anything to these people that are trying to convince us and the rest of the world that they did this. There's reasons why they wanted to do it, and they wanted to do it so fast. If you look at it and you do all the math and stuff like that, like they had 7 years to figure it out and do it and build all this shit. It takes them fucking 20 years. We just fucking launched fucking satellites that they started building 20 years ago. You tell me they put together a fucking spaceship in 7 fucking years and sent it up and it was safe? It would have been easier in that 7 years to plan out how to fucking make a fake fucking moon landing. A lot easier. And it might have cost a fucking shitload of money, but they could have done it. And then everybody's like, what about the 400,000 people that were involved in the whole entire thing? Not everybody had to be involved. A lot of the people were just watching it. Just like the rest of us. That's how they were involved, so...
Oh my god.
There's only a very few small amount of people that were actually involved with somebody getting into the rocket, going up in the rocket, and coming back down in the rocket. When you eliminate all those people and all that and stuff, the numbers are very small to keep that number of people small. Yeah.
You also have to look at the space race as a part of the whole war
thing,
machine and everything that was going on at the time too. And when it comes to war, we spare no expense.
We spare no expense, exactly. Why do you think in the fucking 60s all of a sudden the hammer went from fucking $30,000 to $60,000 when the government contract to fucking needed a new hammer, and toilet seats went up to $100,000 and shit like that because they was fucking trying to pay for a fake moon landing.
Our rivals back then, yeah, but they really are rivals too. Again, they got together. We were just watching the thing about the Phobos. There's different things that these governments have done together and launched things into space and stuff like that. When it comes to enemies or whatever, a lot of that too we know has been fake. There's been false flags that wars have been fought over that have been created and stuff like that. And a lot of these governments know what's going on. And to think that even back then, whether they were...
And you got to remember, Russia is our enemy, but Russia isn't our enemy. You know, it goes. Yeah, there's so much more to it than what people even begin to grasp and begin to look at and stuff. And that's why we're talking about some of this stuff.
And governments all over the world at the time wouldn't have had to fake it because of the lack of technology, the lack of communication. There's the way that we look at the world now, the way that we see things now, the instant way to communicate something, the instant way to put something up. Like we literally go live, we're live. On YouTube, there's a little bit of a lag or whatever. But in most cases, when you're going on all these other social media platforms, you're going live instantaneously to reach people throughout the world. Periscope, any of these type of things to do that. Back then, communication took time. There were people with ham radios who were listening to communication and stuff like that. They're not visually seeing things, they're hearing things. So their interpretation of how they see things, and there's plenty of people who are listening on those ham radios who said other things too. They heard them say things that never got communicated back, like supposedly, oh, what's that? Or they saw things or whatever. So I think that to say that the whole government, the governments of the world would have had to have been involved, not really. It depends. When you send something up into space, things come back down, and who's actually monitoring all that back then? Who's actually watching all that?
That's what people say. Well, Russia was monitoring. Russia can tell if we've sent something up into space and everything like that. And other governments can tell that. Well, okay, that day we did launch a fucking rocket, and it did go up into fucking space. Did it go up in space and do everything that it says that it did? Who's to say? That's where the questions come into it. When you watch that footage, because again, back in 1969, everybody only saw that once. Nobody could go back and be like, whoa, wait a minute. Why does it look like he's hanging by a fucking wire right there? Everybody was just like, boom, they had to go on to the next thing. So, therefore, Russia would be like, oh yeah, shit. They sent some rockets up early. We know it's fucking up there in space right now. This must be it.
Okay.
There's no way for them to say that it's not. So...
And satellites, that's again still things that aren't. They're not. Like
we know the satellites. We're not saying that the space program doesn't exist. We're not saying that the moon. We never went to the moon. We're not saying that there's no satellites in space and everything like that. That's the other thing that a lot of people go and they misquote what NASA is saying and stuff like that. They got people on the International Space Station talking about how we got to go past low Earth orbit. Well, that's because they're currently in low Earth orbit on the space station, and they're talking about going further into space and stuff. So they say that it's NASA admitting that we've never gone into space and stuff. We're not saying that anything like that. We're not saying that the space program doesn't exist. We're not saying that there's no satellites, that we haven't been to the moon. What we're talking about right now is that footage, 1969, July 20th. Was that actual footage of them on the moon, or was that something that they had to put out because we had to win the space race at that point in time? Now, we know that satellites are up there. We know there were satellites up there at that time because that's how Russia detected that we sent a rocket into space that day. And Russia confirmed that, oh yeah, they sent a rocket into space that day. Where that rocket went, Russia can't tell you, though. Yeah. Only people who could tell you that would be those very few, again, involved with that is a very small number. Yeah, 400,000 people altogether, and plus you add in all the people watching on TV and everything like that, is yes, but that's only people watching it and stuff like that. Not actual people hands-on with knowledge of what happened, did they go up there and stuff. Now, again, they might have gone up there. Buzz and fucking Neil might have been actually up on the moon. They might have actually, on that rocket, might have went to the moon. But what they were doing and what it was showing, again, was that really them on the moon? Or were they up there doing other things and we was just down here being like, oh fuck, look at this, it's TV, awesome. This is TV, this is awesome, there's people on a moon.
It's real.
That's where the questions come in. So
these are the same people who listen to War of the Worlds. I just want to point that out. It thought that aliens...
The space program, again, is much bigger than what they tell us too, and we probably on Mars right now. We talk about that all the time and everything like that. What they're telling us isn't everything that's what's going on. So that's where the questions come up and everything. You know, there's this whole secret space program and everything, which that's kind of going to get tied into becoming a little branch of the fucking Space Force. Yeah. We already got our super secret. We got our Space Force ships and everything like that.
Wow, they built those quick. Oh, yeah, we've been working on them.
Yeah,
yeah,
we've been working on them for the last 7 years. That's how long it took us to get to the moon, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the other thing that has amazed me in all this. Here it is, 2018, all those years ago. They have not gone back to the moon. It does not make sense. I get, you want to reach for the stars, go further, Mars.
So they say they haven't been back to the moon. They just don't.
Right. Well, we believe. I know that, as far as I'm concerned, that they do, and they go back. Michael Jackson.
But here's the other thing too with that. Up until, say, the last 15 years ago, nobody would have cared if anybody went to the moon. Nobody cared that people were going into space for fucking after we got to the moon and shit. After that, like, people's interest in everything, like, totally dropped off. It totally fell off. Like, people were like, yeah, okay, cool, it's another rocket going up in space and shit like that and everything. So nobody really would have cared if they were going to the moon back and forth. So they could have been going back to the moon, and they just weren't telling people. It was like, who the fuck cares? So we're going to just do all this shit, and we're not going to tell anybody because nobody fucking cares anymore. And we'll tell them once in a while we send them up this rocket, and stuff, because they got to know where some of this money's going. Some people are going to question things, you know what I mean? So
it sounds good, it looks good, but again, I just you can't
exactly. Adriana Gibson, interest in space fell after we supposedly landed on the moon. Everybody, the whole world stopped talking about it.
Nobody cared anymore.
Nobody's interest was there, so they had plenty of opportunity to be like, let's go and do whatever the fuck we want now, because nobody's gonna fucking say anything, and nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna question anything because they're gonna be like, oh yeah, we already did that.
Yeah. But that doesn't make. But you would want to see that again. That's the thing. It was a one-in-a-lifetime thing. Why wouldn't they do that again? Why would something that's so simple? People keep talking about the money again. When it comes to anything they really want to do, they can put the money behind it. And you talk about all these little companies too, who now some of them are talking about doing stuff on the moon, but you would think that would be the first push. Why would you push so quick to go to Mars, which you really don't know what you could do up there yet, because no one supposedly has been there to do it, and bypass the moon, where you could say, well, why don't we begin our expedition here? If we've already been to the moon, we send something to the moon, learn how to put habitats on the moon, learn how to do things, then once we get to Mars, we'll already have some of that stuff, a grasp on how to do some of these things, because we've actually done them on not another planet.
Well, that's what the idea is, and that's what they're planning to do right now.
Yeah, well, but they're also planning to go to Mars.
Well, there's people planning to go to Mars.
What are you talking about? They're putting money towards the Space Force and everything. No budget cuts. They're spending money, military.
Again, you're looking at surface stuff. You're looking at surface. You have to go deeper. Yeah, they say we're cutting NASA's fucking budget over here, but again, you have the budget, the black budget, everything else that they're doing.
And the
they're
super
doing
black
stuff
budget.
that's not being told. That's what they're being told. So people's lack of interest. Oh yeah, look, NASA. Okay, yeah, it's just NASA. Who cares? Cut the budget anyway and stuff like that. They cut the budget and it goes into other things that they don't have to talk about.
That's another. I mean, that's another possibility too.
Actually, NASA isn't even part of the military complex. It is, but it isn't. It's NASA's not actually not even a government fucking thing. NASA's its own fucking corporation, technically.
But Adriana brings up a good point too. Is that one of the chatters I've heard in conspiracies is that when they went to the moon, they saw something. And whatever they told them, pretty much, we're watching you, we're here, but you go back and don't fucking come back.
Don't come back.
You got no business.
That's why I'm saying we've had probably been to the moon before we actually said we were at the moon, and they're like, but we got to show the fucking world something here, so we'll give them this fucking bullshit, so everybody fucking shuts the fuck up. As in 1969, so you show a fucking 3-hour fucking thing of some dudes fucking bouncing around on the moon. They'd be like, yeah, all right, cool, that's great. And again, as we can tell, we know from the fucking history of it and all the polls and everything afterwards, and nobody was interested after anything to do with space really after that, up until about 15, 20 years ago and shit, when people started fucking question shit. Saying, hey, wait a minute, something's not right here.
I don't know. Aliens a possibility. There's a whole lot of different possibilities. But
again, Adriana, we're not discrediting space travel. We're not discrediting anything that. We know that people go into space all the time. We know that fucking Elon Musk has fucking got shit up in space right now. We know all kinds of shit because of space travel, because of this. I mean, space travel is fucking nothing without Nikola Tesla. If you want to go there. So, but. Yeah, we're not denying that space. We're not going to space and stuff. But what we're questioning here is this footage, this 3-hour footage. Actually, I don't even know how much of it they actually showed that night or whatever. I don't even know. I couldn't find out exactly how much was shown of it because a lot of it was just the NASA recording them with 3 hours on there or whatever. If that whole 3 hours was shown, I couldn't find anything about how long it was broadcast for and what exactly the full broadcast was. So that's what we're questioning. This is not the fact that space travel. we know everybody at the time was sending shit into space and everything like that, but
back then, you know, it just those guys, those
it was people, you know, it was a race to get there, and whoever got there first was going to be the one that came out on top. Fuck it, and again, because fucking Russia's not our enemy. I mean, they're our enemy, but they're not our enemy, and same thing with all these other fucking countries and shit like that. They probably drew straws, and we fucking won. That's how it could have been. It could have fucking been Japan.
Your turn.
Fucking, you never fucking know. But right now, it's fucking the United States that's on top right there or whatever. So it was them, and it was like, yep, we gotta fucking be the ones to get there. But at that point in time, again, the fucking technology that they supposedly used to get there, a calculator is fucking is better than that.
Right? Cell phones.
Well, no. But I'm talking about. Yeah, obviously a cell phone is way more advanced than that. But I'm talking about the shit that was on that fucking thing for computers and shit. A fucking a calculator, your average calculator nowadays is more technically advanced than that fucking spaceship was. There's a lot of questions to that and everything, and whether it would have actually made it there and shit. At that point in time. Again, we're not saying that we've never been there and we haven't been there because there is evidence that we've been there. Again, I can go out and point some lasers and shit, record it, and we'll bounce back and hit my fucking things back here and everything like that. You set it up, it's all kinds of tests that we can do. We can show that fucking... You could actually, with the right telescopes and stuff, you can go and you can see and you can zoom in and you can see where we have landers and stuff that were left there and everything.
You can see the stuff, okay, it's there. But did they do
you
it
can see evidence that was there, but that particular day, what we saw was that actually was going. Again, they could have been there because I think there's stuff left over there from when they went there. The flag's still there and everything because I know I think there's 12. I forget how many flags there is. One of them fell over though, supposedly. But you can, again, with the right telescopes and stuff, you can actually see this stuff. And they've released pictures of it and shit like that. But people are like, oh, pictures of NASA edits and everything. You know what I mean? Okay, sure. Then your whole life is edited, dude. So
yeah, I don't think the shuttles are fake. I don't think the ISS is fake and stuff.
No, it's all real. That's what I'm saying. It's all real. We go to space. There's people floating around on the space station right now. None of that. We're not questioning any of that.
We're not, but we're also not sending.
Yeah, Adriatic to Mars. Are you listening to what we're saying right now? We're talking about the footage that people watched on July 20th, 1969. I'll even say that fucking Neil and fucking Buzz actually went to the moon that day. But the footage that we watched was that actual moon footage.
I don't know if they went to the moon that day. I'm just saying. The shuttles and stuff, and again, that's stuff, but that's none of that stuff. They're not sending shuttles to the moon. They're not sending shuttles to Mars. They're sending them into orbit. When that stuff is, we know they can do that stuff, but it could have been the exact same thing they did to those dudes actually go to Mars. And
but at that point in time, were they actually able to go?
To
the moon and show it? Because you watch that footage and shit. That's fucking. It's pretty impressive for 1969.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty impressive for 1969. Fucking being broadcast from the fucking moon and shit.
But I mean, they could have had that technology early too, and just not showing you how they were really broadcasting. We know they're notorious, so that's too high.
And having no knowledge of fucking cameras and shit, and some of the angles and shit actually fucking were all fucking, you know what I mean? Like, hey, these fucking people might know what the fuck's going on and shit. That's what we're questioning here. Is this fucking shit that people sat there in front of their fucking glued to their TV screen for however long they actually, however much of the fucking broadcast they actually broadcasted, was that real? Watch it. Just go and watch it. It looks fake as fuck. I could probably recreate it in my backyard and shit with some fucking wires and stuff like that. I could make it, you think I'm on the fucking moon right now.
He can Stanley Kubrick that shit.
Even with 1/6 the gravity, when you fall over like that, you're not going to bounce up and go like this like you're on fucking wires. It doesn't happen.
Because when he jumped down, remember he was talking about the clearance from the ladder to the ground.
It's real. It's legit footage. But was it legit footage of them on the moon? It's actual film. We know that. We know there's film footage of two people doing stuff. What supposedly them on the moon. But are they actually on the moon at that point and doing? That's what we're questioning.
Or are they on a lot somewhere filming that shit? They could have pre-filmed. Stanley Kubrick could have been brought in as the contingency plan. Bring this man in. Let's film this just in case. Blah blah blah. Just in case. They control, as of the word I love to use now, the narrative.
When they got there, they were like, "Oh fuck, we can't show this right now."
Or we couldn't get on.
Go with the B-roll footage.
We didn't actually land on the moon. Our thing didn't work. Something didn't work the way we thought it did, but we can't disappoint the world now, so let's go with the footage we have. Exactly. It's not really crazy to think that this is a possibility. They didn't want to let everything down. You're talking about it brought the world together, it inspired people. I talked about someone who told me personally inspired them to come to this country. So why would they want you to fail? They're not going to allow that to fail. So whether or not they went all the way there could have been technical difficulties, things that they didn't want people to know happened. Now, they all came back. Clearly, they didn't die. But the possibility is that they used a lot of that footage because
they had no choice.
It's just too.
If it failed at that point in time, it would have totally fucking crushed everything about America and everything like that. Fucking Russia would have invaded the next fucking day. We're like, fucking puny, weak Americans as they shot somebody up into space and shit like that. Who the fuck knows what would have happened? But they couldn't have let it not happen.
Nothing can look like that? Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? I actually have. You want to fucking... Alright. Why is no fucking dust? That whole fucking planet is fucking full of... not planet. The whole fucking moon is dust. It's all of this very fine dust and shit like that. No dust is ever kicked up ever at all. How is that possible? You know how that's possible? If you're filming it on a film set and that dust isn't fucking dust, it's moist. Like they do on fucking construction sites and film sites now to keep the dust down and shit when they're in fucking shooting desert scenes and stuff like that. It will still look like it's a desert scene, but the dust doesn't move and shit except for where they want the dust to move. Because again, I've been sitting there watching the footage and shit. There ain't no fucking dust kicked up at all. Even if you watch them when they're driving around on their rollers and shit like that, there should be some kind of fucking dust and shit coming up off the back of them more than fucking what you see, even in 1/6 of gravity and shit. There's all kinds of stuff.
Listen to their words, their own words, and not the words that have been taken out of context and stuff. We've spoken about some of that stuff. We're talking about words. The third guy who was actually, he never went on the moon. He was up in the orbiter. I forget his name. Sorry, but he then talked about the fact that there were no stars. I didn't see any stars. It was pretty much black. There was no stars to see. But then later in the book writes that, stars everywhere. There's just too many stars to count. Stars, too many for the eyes to see and blah, blah, blah. So you also have to take what were they told to say back then? What are they saying now? Maybe later, he wants to embellish or something, or his memory isn't as good. But for someone, one of the very few people to go into space and to be sitting in an orbiter, basically your time is spent looking out into space. You'd think you would remember whether or not you saw stars. And you wouldn't remember it years later when you're writing a book. You would remember it when you first... That's to be the first thing you talk about. When I went up to Vermont, whenever I go on vacation, one of the first things I talk about is the stars. You're getting a look at the stars like none other. Like very few... At that time, no other person other than the other two people who were with you. So you would think that you would come back and that would be one of the things you're talking about. Oh, the stars are amazing. I saw this, I saw that. You have the best view ever. So you can also take their own, thank you, command module, and also take their own words and break some of those down and say, well, why are they saying this stuff? Cryptid things that Neil Armstrong would say. He didn't like to interview. He was very, very, he didn't really want to talk to people and stuff like that. And when he did interview, he always had these cryptid, like weird coded things to say. It was never just straightforward, like, oh, this was the best thing that ever happened. This is what we did, blah, blah, blah. You kids should go into space. I aspire you to want to be astronauts. No, I aspire you to uncover the secret layers and stuff like that. He talked in code and stuff like, what's the secret layers? What is the secret at that point? The secret would be out. We went to the moon. You went to the moon. You were the first man on the moon. There is no secret. What is the secret layers that need to be uncovered? And these words are very cryptic, and they kind of lead you to kind of want to go down the road and start looking at these things and breaking these things down. And the average person who's commenting, have everybody watched the whole 3 hours? I haven't even watched the whole 3 hours.
Adriana, we're not disagreeing with any of that. I know why that you don't see any moon, that many stars when you're on the surface of the moon and stuff. It's the same thing as it's light pollution, just like when you're on Earth, because the moon dust, it reflects the moonlight and everything like that. We're not questioning that. We're questioning the way that the video looks that everybody saw on 1969. We know people went there after that, and I know it would be a little bit more possible to go a few years when they went after that and everything like that. Again, they might have been there at that point in time, but because things on the moon might not be everything that they say is on the moon and everything. You have to remember that stuff too. Like, I don't understand why you're defending them so much. You're like, do you work for NASA?
Are you a spy?
Like, you're not looking at it.
No, she's playing devil's advocate, and I get what she's saying.
And I get that too, but you have to. I've looked at it from every single angle possible.
This is a major accomplishment. Again, like she said, it brought people together.
Huge.
To this day, it's something that has not. It's been done 5 other times, but it has. You can't recreate the first time they went supposedly and did that. And that's the thing. You just have to look at this from a perspective of they had so much to gain and everything to lose at the same time. So for them to any little thing that goes wrong, they're not going to want to show us that. They want to show the world at this point, we were ready, we did it, it's done. And then they came back or whatever, blah blah blah, and everything changes, and everybody, oh, America was the first people to do this, yeah. Right? You know, and no one else has to do it now. They already won. It took the flag out of the sail. So that's what we're saying. Like they had everything to get. Exactly. Not that all of it necessarily. They may have had every great intention.
There's the theories that when we got there was fucking aliens and shit. They ain't got to show that live on TV. They had shit ready to go just in case. When they got there, or if they didn't even get there, they got to say, "Oh fuck, what are we gonna do now?" You know what I mean? So they had this ready to go. So. They had to. I'm not denying that the film wasn't actually the film. This legit film of 2 people doing something where the film was actually shot is what's in question. Again, there's places on Earth that look like Mars. There's places on Earth that you could question and think it's the moon.
And Hollywood had the capabilities of doing that stuff.
Capability of doing all that stuff.
It's not filmed in high def. It's not filmed in 3D. It's not filmed in THX sound, anything.
Hard to do at the time, especially with an unlimited fucking budget. You're talking like they don't have a budget to do it. But if you're trying to fucking protect everything and to be number one and the greatest thing and everything, whatever, they had the backup plan. Supposedly, we've known that there was aliens on the moon since fucking Eisenhower. Okay, he signed a treaty with the fucking aliens that live on the moon and shit like that. So when we went to the moon, we had to show something. We might not have been able to show it. They had to do something. Not questioning about anything about going to the moon. No, we can go to the moon. Again, I can point fucking lasers at the moon and fucking show you that there's shit, man-made shit up on the moon. Get the right telescope and I can show you there's shit on the moon that we put there. I can go out at the right times and I can see the space station flying over. I can see satellites. I know I can discern a satellite from a fucking a shooting star and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I know all that stuff. I know we do all that stuff. We're questioning the footage that night.
That's it. Was it real? Was it fake? That's it. Everything to gain.
Because I don't even question any of the footage after. Would you watch some of the footage after and you're like, yeah, that seems pretty legit right there. But that one night right there. That's all, and then again, they only had to fool the world once then. Now they can be like, oh, you tin hat fucking conspiracy theorists. Listen to the experts that work for NASA.
And all the experts on the Earth, who none of them have actually.
All these experts on Earth, if they say anything, their funding and their TV shows go bye-bye and anything like that. You know what I mean?
We can tell you how everything works, what goes on out there, but yet none of these people have gone out there. Like, you're talking about a very small group of people who actually have been in space. Supposedly, I'm not saying again that they didn't do it, but I don't know about those particular guys, but have been in space, and it's a very small club. It's a very small group of people. Most of the people who sit here and have everything to say can read from the same books, can watch the same videos, and tell you the same thing that's been said since back then. It's very easy to do, but none of those people were there. None of those people were working for NASA at the time. None of those people were on that ship. None of those people, out of the 3 people that were there, none of us were there. But it gets just very easy to fake, though. Very easy just to make sure you keep the narrative going.
All we have to go by is just little bits of information. And what my eyes can see on this video and stuff, you watch it again and again. There's no way.
Just don't
look. There's no way. Again, I compare that video to other actual video of the moon. And I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, no, this isn't. This is definitely not. There's no way.
They weren't thinking that, you know.
Yeah. Again, they may have been on the moon that day, but there might have been some shit that they couldn't have been showing live to the fucking world. That's the whole thing that fucking nobody knows, and that's again the part of the thing that there's a lot of evidence too that there's some shit on the fucking moon that not everybody can fucking know about. Again, I can get the right telescopes and I can look at the stuff that we've left on the moon, but I can also point that telescope and say, hey, what the fuck is that right there? And NASA will be like, oh, that's shadows in the crater and blah, 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 blah. And I'll be like, no, that looks just like a man-made fucking object, like your man-made objects over here. And look, it's even got tracks like your objects. So that's the thing is, there's stuff like that you can see up there. So they weren't going to show the whole fucking world and the whole country at the time, because it was mostly the country that was watching and everything, and maybe, I don't know, overseas and stuff. It was hard to find out exactly who was getting the broadcast of them on July 20th, 1969, at whatever time it was. There's only one person alive who could tell us right now. That I know, that one person alive is Buzz Aldrin.
He's off grid.
Because everybody else who was there close enough to fucking be like when he's getting on the thing, and actually who wasn't just people at NASA that was watching it on screens and stuff like that. There was there's probably less than 100 people that would have been there in contact with Buzz and Neil, walking them to the spaceship and everything, and the spaceship launching and stuff like that. Because with NASA's control thing, there's not a fucking actual window there where they're looking at the thing. They're looking at a screen. Even back then, they were looking at a big screen of the launch. They weren't actually looking at the launch. People don't realize that. All the people then in NASA, what about all the people in the control room? They're all looking at screens. So we're not questioning any of the screen footage. What they're seeing was that, where was that footage coming from? Was it actually coming from the moon?
Adrian, I hope you get to the moon, though. I hope you get to see the moon.
I hope I get to the moon. I want to go to the moon too. I know.
I want to go see Michael Jackson.
It's possible to go to the moon.
Listen, if you've listened all these years, Adrian, you already know I have crazy conspiracy theories about the moon, about one Michael being up there. There's probably a big ass resort and stuff up there.
We're probably fucking sending the people that are going to be in the Space Force are already going back and forth and shit right now. Ain't questioning that shit. I'm questioning that 3-hour fucking footage that you can all go on fucking YouTube and watch. You can go to fucking NASA's website and you can watch the footage and stuff of what was. I think that whole 3 hours was what was shown to the people and shit like that. Again, I don't know anybody really alive who remembers the whole thing and all that shit. And so,
just saying. And Adriana, no one wants to bust your bubble.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Not trying to bust anybody's bubble and stuff. It's just when you actually watch, and I watched the MythBusters episode too. I watched all those things about the people trying to debunk debunked. It's what you can actually. It's you know what I mean. They can say this is easy to fake this, and it's easy. Well, it's also easy to fake fucking what they're doing and shit.
I have full belief again that we've been going back and forth to the moon. The moon is there's probably a resort up there amongst other shit and God knows what else. But I
wish we could actually show a little fucking clip of the footage right now in the corner and stuff, and actually do it and stuff. Like I don't know how long we can play it for before it would, if it would be. But it's highly questionable. Yeah. It's highly questionable, and again, we had to. You know, show something to the world that day. Everybody was waiting. Everybody knew that fucking spaceship launched so many hours until this. People were actually sitting around. That was like one of the first things, like nowadays, people wait to the countdown of this fucking event and shit like that, and the TV, you know, like the Super Bowl. They got this whole pre-fucking thing.
Or the ball dropping. New
Year's Eve, the ball dropping and stuff like that. None of that happened. But on that day, like the TVs and everything like that, that was the whole thing, the launch going up and stuff, and then they had to wait hours and hours, so they'd just do stuff, and they would show whatever the fuck TV showed back then for a little while. They would come back, the reporter talking, and anytime now they're going to be doing this, and they're going to be doing that, and stuff like that. Was the first time ever any of that.
And remember before
so that, they had to show something happened. They had to have a plan. It's NASA too. You know NASA got a backup plan for the backup plan for the backup plan for the backup plan.
I just think of it as War of the Worlds. See what I'm saying? But for NASA, pretty much, that they just, instead of sitting around a radio listening to some shit that someone concocted, that they just really, really wanted to go to the moon. Something happened, and they just weren't capable of doing it right then, and they faked it. That they had that footage, and they used.
When they landed, they were like, "Oh fuck, we can't fucking let people see this right here. Go with that footage."
Yep.
They had a backup plan. They knew where you could fucking again. Whether people recreate models on Earth of the moon landing. Little scale 3D models and shit just from fucking pictures and stuff like that. That's all. But they knew where they were going to land and shit. All they had to do, they could build a set simply that looks exactly like that area where they were going to be. Real easy to do. Or find an area in the desert that looks similar and go out, change a few fucking things, and make it look like that. Just in case. They had to have a backup plan.
And one of the reasons he went down the ladder slow too, Adrian, is if you actually watch the footage, the ladder was too short.
Yeah,
he had to jump a little bit of a distance, so that's what he was concerned with too. That's why he guided.
See, that's why people don't know. That's why I don't think people know about the whole 3-hour footage, and they're only watching the little clips and stuff like that. There's probably a good 2 or 3 minute period of him going up and down the ladder and stuff, and then he finally jumps down, and he's tethered still to the fucking craft just in case and stuff like that. And then he jumps back up, and he's like, okay, it's a jump that we can make back and forth and stuff before he decides to go. There's a whole thing. I've watched like the whole thing. Rewind this, rewind that now, because we have that ability. Back then they didn't have that. So everybody bought it. It was easy for the sell. Everybody watching that fucking thing was like, yep, that's cool. Look at that. Wow. Wow, kids, get out of the pool. Come look at this. They were already out of the pool at that point in time because everybody's like, we're going live. They're going to be going live right now.
Oh, my God.
Go live on the moon.
Yeah, because a lot of the footage you watch is
people glued. A lot of the stuff that you can go back and look at, hundreds, thousands of pictures. Even some of the people had cameras here on Earth, like video cameras, and they were like, look at us. We're watching the moon landing.
Yeah, reel to reel. See, that's what you need to do, Adriana, too, is maybe go on YouTube and watch the whole thing. I don't know if you have.
Again, if you don't want to believe YouTube, even though it's NASA's YouTube thing and everything, you can actually go to NASA's website and you can watch the footage and stuff like that, and you can do it over and over again and stuff. And just discern for you, not listen to the Mythbusters and everybody else who's tried to debunk this or try to prove it and whatever. Just watch it over and over. You have the ability to watch it over and over again. Listen to everything that they're saying. And how everything is being done and stuff, and just really think about it. I know it's hard to kind of discern what 1/6 the gravity of Earth would be like, but it's kind of like swimming in a pool.
And then the cameras and stuff.
You can't bounce up and stand up straight like this. It's just there's so much.
Because if you could too, then you're going to jump back on that ladder without a problem.
Without a problem. Like there's just way too much. You gotta watch it and just watch it, and then you'll be like, this video is questionable. I'm not questioning if they was on the moon. Again, because we can prove they've been to the moon and stuff like that. That footage is what we can't say.
That one very well directed video. This is perfect. This looks really great. Back then.
Yeah, for fucking back then, that was fucking great.
It was awesome. It looked really good.
Fucking coming from the moon. Good camera angles and shit. You're like, wow, holy shit. They really thought that fucking shit out, huh? I'm fucking top buzzing, fucking nailed some shit about photography and everything real quick before they went up there.
Yep. All those perfect angles, all those perfect shots.
Lighting, everything. They knew it. They knew everything. How to get it just right. You can't hand it to the NASA saying, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that. You know what I mean? A little bit of that, you know, the kind of directing them and stuff. But still, they still have to have somewhat of a knowledge to again end up being where you can. Let's just watch the whole 3 hours. You got 3 hours. Watch it. It actually takes longer because you're actually gonna be like, hold on, let me watch that again. It takes a little while to get through the full 3 hours and
you
stuff.
You gotta take away the grainy shit and the little blips and stuff that you don't see now that occur. And
you're like, UFO. You gotta remember you're watching this, even though NASA it's the cleaned up version now, like the new whatever. You can go and watch the really grainy fucking one of it. It looks just it's the same footage and stuff like that, but they've just cleaned it up a little bit as best they can now, and it still looks like fucking shit, but it still looks good for 1969.
69! That's right! Just saying.
And you just watch it and stuff, and a lot of it's just them standing there and they're just talking and then nothing.
Make sure you get the contingency sample. I'm taking pictures. Give me a minute before I get the contingency sample. I gotta take these pictures. My man was up there with his. He looked like he probably had a cell phone and shit back then. He had the iPhone. What's he saying?
She said she was at this Kennedy Space Center. That's cool though.
But but then if they can move like that, you'd be able to jump. You'd be able to.
Yeah,
do
then they'll
like John Carter.
He wouldn't have been questioning the ladder. Again, there's a lot of stuff. When you watch it, you're like, okay, but why didn't he do this over here then? If he could do it in here and everything like that. It looks like they were trying to recreate what it would be like on the moon, and in some things, in some cases, they're like, oh, well, just pull on the cords, and it had to go with the shot and everything. So it's just, if you watch it, there's just some things that questions. You get some parts of it, it's like, yeah, okay, cool. They're standing here on a ladder and stuff. That looks like it could be the moon and everything. Right, all right, but then they start doing some other things, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I don't know. Are they really on the moon doing this right now? But then it goes back to stuff, and I'm like, yeah, all right, that could be the moon right now. All right, maybe, right. But then they start doing some stuff again, and then I'm like, let me watch that again.
And she said harnesses hurt arms and legs. I'm sure they hurt, but they're probably not being concerned about that.
About that when you're making fucking movies and shit like that. Fucking you don't hear fucking Jackie Chan and all these movie fucking stars complaining, oh, my arms hurt from these fucking harnesses and stuff like that. Fucking Tom Cruise complaining as he's fucking getting flung from building to building in Dubai and shit like that. About his harness fucking hurting him.
One rectangular car, no ladders. See? They didn't want you to figure out the ladder. They was trying to hide the ladder trick, Adriana. You gotta understand. They got tricks they don't want us to know. I'm sorry. That just looked like a really, really good movie. Like from 1969. Like Stanley Kubrick did a hell of a job. Whether they've been to the moon. They've done all kinds of shit in the moon. They continue to go back and forth to the moon whenever they want to. I'm pretty sure. But on that particular day, at that particular time, they shot something up there, and then
yeah, I'm a big fan of NASA. I believe in a lot of stuff that they do all the time, but then there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, hey, wait a minute, guys, really?
Like seriously? Come on, guys.
Come on now.
And that's my thing. Like they've gone back. Oh, it's too much money. Yeah, you wasted money just shooting little shuttles into space. You should send something back to the fucking moon. Do it again. Inspire people. Inspire a whole nother generation, new generations of people. As inspiring as it was back then, it would be just as inspiring now to see man on the moon, walking around the moon.
Way more complicated than what you think it is. It was way easier for them to be like, "Yep, just fucking roll this footage for whatever reasons," and boom. I'm trying to remember everything that's fucking on there and how many things. I'm pretty sure there's fucking pieces left from their lunar module from when they were there and the flags there. And you can go and you can see this stuff. So they could have been there, but I'm questioning the footage.
Just that particular one. That's it. On that particular day. I wasn't even alive yet.
Not questioning that Buzz and fucking Dale could have been there doing some shit that day. For all I know, there could have been fucking Thanksgiving on the moon with the aliens.
Exactly.
I don't know.
They could have signed the peace treaty.
Did you imagine that? Did you imagine that? They fucking land on the moon and there's some fucking aliens there and they're like, oh,
hey.
We're about to go live, aliens. You cool with that? They're like, what the aliens like, what the fuck are you even doing here? You want to go live? No. NASA's like, quick, go with that shit Kubrick did. It's all we got. We got to do something. Fuck, we gotta roll more blunts already.
Pat's game's on, probably. Still watching the Patriots game. But yes, we gotta take a break soon. We'll wait another 10 minutes, and we'll take a break at the top of the hour. And we'll change the batteries on the camera.
The camera's gonna be going.
Yeah, because the camera's gonna be going to dead soon. So we'll just do the break now. We're gonna take a quick break, folks. We gotta change the battery on the camera, give you a chance to go roll something, smoke something, hit the head, go look at some quick footage on YouTube of the moon landing. I'm sorry, because I feel like Adriana is like, you know, she needs some backup. If anybody else, anybody else believes why you believe, what you don't believe, whatever. We don't want to attack. We're just trying to figure out.
Again,
why.
we're just talking about the footage of Neil and Buzz on the moon landing on July 20th, 1969. That's the only thing we're in questioning right now.
That's it.
Not any of the other moon footage, not any of that. We've been in space. We're talking about the moon footage from 1969.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. So you chime in. You can call in 563-999-3033. Press 1. Comment. Get in that chat. If you're not in the chat, we're live on YouTube. We'll be back. We're gonna take a break. Play a little music. Yep. There's the camera.
There's the camera.
Right, fine. So don't go too far. It's Paranormal Hood. Enjoy the break. Enjoy the music. And then come back and let's talk the moon landing of 1969. Was it real? Or was it fake? Anybody give Adriana some backup? Come on. Who else believes? We'll be back.
Reflecting all of our inner work. Our intentions should be something other than riches. Our values don't match our value. We live in a contradiction. Listen, we asked for eternity and we got something more. Now we run away from life just to go to war. Embracing all the struggle like it's a distant brother. Not learning there's no struggle if we embrace each other. But this money got y'all acting different. Ain't no activism, cause activists don't act on a common interest. They want you to choose a side. They divide, you get conquered. The winners get the honor of ranking you as a monster. This is war. Yeah, this is war. Yeah, this is war up in your house, war up in your mind. This is war upon your kids, so this is war with all the time. This is war in your spirit. Can you hear it? Can you feel it? You can smell it through our pores. Our essence is now a weapon for this war. They telling us his story, but it's not the truth. Let alone even relevant to me or you. Tell them eat your stardust when you rolling through. Cause this body ain't nothing but a cosmic coupe. And that's the very thing these humans try to hide from you. They don't want you to see the God that lies inside of you. In this information war, we're being lied to. Because there is no Messiah that is provided to you. There is no supreme being that lives outside of self. And if you don't believe me, your denial's felt. So who am I to try to empower the powerless? Cause for the truth I push courage out of a coward's chest. Pull verses from universes to encourage purpose. So every rhyme is like a pregnant virgin birthing diamonds from a lifeless surface. A rising serpent to the eye. Climb that ladder on a spine as we remind the mind that this is war. Yeah, this is war. Yeah, this is war up in your house, war up in your mind. This is war upon your kids, so this is war with all the time. This is war all in your spirit. Can you hear it? Can you feel it? You can smell it through our pores. Our essence is now a weapon for this war.
Yeah. I am fucking supreme. Yeah. Yo, I am fucking supreme. I put wings on that serpent. I am so fucking firefly. Yeah, my mind is like fireside. I am at you like pie. I put that on my third eye. I am off inside dimensions, only seen with one eye. Dimensional tryptamine, God, I am seeing the unseen. God, pop a diamond, that psilocybin got me talking through them trees. God, I'm all inside of the Akashic, that silicone on my conscience. Now every time I trip the veil, my whole world go like timeless. I might fly by with no ride, that mind of mine get time bent. I'm from the land of them giants, this black ring on my iris. I told motherfuckers we never gonna die. I'm over God on these tyrants, over these gods with synagogues. I just turn my serpent on, that liquid flame get to your brain. Some get lit, some go insane. I've been lifted, mushrooms in my third eye, not blind. Trip to another high, slip through another timeline. Flip another 1-6, I am God through 5. Root to the crown, in and out when I want to. I will never die. I am fucking supreme, this the return of that sovereign. Now watch me take off my skin, so I can lift up the consciousness.
Yeah, they cut down our trees, so we passed through that portal. Yeah, they thought we were slaves, but we came back as immortal. Cause I am
fucking supreme, this the return of that sovereign. Now watch me take off my skin, so I can lift up the consciousness.
Yeah, they cut down our trees, so we passed through that portal. Yeah, they thought we were slaves, but we came back as immortals.
Cause I am fucking supreme, extreme dreaming, I'm scheming, hunting that ultimate meaning, bleeding that truth out my stomach. They tried to put up these walls, we're here to break that shit down. We're here to burn all this money, we're here to bring down that crown. Cause we are fucking supreme, we'll be that voice of the voiceless, expressing visions of peace. But first some things are in order, stack up elites by the corpses. Of course I'm feeling remorse, but if that's what we gotta do to keep on moving this forward, for my soul's forever immortal, interdimensional portals. They tried to keep us in chains, with paper gods that control us, then tie that paper to God, full eternal blessings and morals. And stay in class, work off your ass and keep on running in circles. Now say I'm free to be the face of the faceless, remove dead faces to which we are loyal, scatter the jewels of the royals. Ain't no wishing, just revealing this vision of united fists in the sky from all of our children, knowing them free. Fucking supreme, this the return of that sovereign. Now watch me take off my skin, so I can lift up the consciousness.
Yeah, they cut down our trees, so we passed through that portal. Yeah, they thought we were slaves, but we came back as immortal. Cause I am
fucking supreme, this the return of that sovereign. Now watch me take off my skin, so I can lift up the consciousness.
Yeah, they cut down our trees, so we passed through that portal. Yeah, they thought we were slaves, but we came back as immortals.
Cause I am fucking supreme, I create what I dream, quantum induce all the photons, so my light code is seen. Yeah, that's manifestation, yeah, that's induced coherence, plus the light interference produces life when you hear it. Yeah, that's word the result. I'm seeing dimensions and circles, moving the light through the portal. Who knew this life was immortal? Don't let them slave you with time. DNA full of divine. There's so much weight on your spine, cause of all those crowns on your mind. Why you wanna be a king when you incarnated God? Heavy is the head that wears that crown, cause I stand on top. Yeah, this freedom don't cost, just pay attention to thought. That's 21 grams of this love, I'ma whip it all in this sauce. Yeah, no death, no birth, so I guess I'm just a walking truth. A fucking star inside a jar, a god inside a boot. Got me breaking all these spells just to get us through, but I promise it's all worth it, we empower you.
I am fucking supreme, this the return of that sovereign. Now watch me take off my skin, so I can lift up the consciousness.
Yeah, they cut down our trees, so we passed through that portal. Yeah, they thought we were slaves, but we came back as immortal. Cause I am
fucking supreme, this the return of that sovereign. Now watch me take off my skin, so I can lift up the consciousness.
Yeah, they cut down our trees, so we passed through that portal. Yeah, they thought we were slaves, but we came back as immortals. Cause I am fucking supreme.
Welcome to my hood. Ain't nothing normal. You can take a look at your hood. My hood. Everything paranormal. Everything paranormal. Yeah. Something for you. The more you can be a whole. Yeah. You can really try. I'ma show you
gon' burn a couple blunts, we gon' pop a couple caps. I ain't talked about 4 5 on the strap. Psilocybin driving, so we headed off the map. What you know about? Take the color, see your sound with a crystalline. Turning nothing into something when we out the mind. Vandalize the lies with the truth. Ain't nobody wanna take shots to this proof. All we ever wanted was the answers. Looking for unique, but our vision keep it fancy. It's a flash man, ghost writing in a pentagram. I'm from the place where our thoughts meet the program. Not too many open to the power that they hold. Just know that when we find it's a reflection of your soul. Supreme beings moving, watch the galaxy implode. We are not alone, if you not know, welcome home. Yeah. Welcome to my hood. My hood. My hood. Ain't nothing normal. You can take a walk in my hood. My hood. Everything paranormal. Paranormal. Everything paranormal. Yeah. Doing something for you. You can be a mortal. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta hold on to this feeling. I be seeing visions through the folds of the prism. Projecting all wishes, anything I want is given. Paranormal vision, you could call it supervision. Control the superstition, make them wonder how we do it. They seen us in the mud, now we out here making music with the paranormal movement that's stronger than what you deal with. If Jesus was just a fraud, then hallelujah for Judas. Caesar is not the mob, so we had to be Buddhists. They hate when we on our job, cause persecution is useless. Proof that what we doing is more than just making music, utilizing the truth. Drop it off in the hood, showing what's really good. The feeling is understood. We know just what it means to get it by all means. Supreme beings moving, watch reality flow. We are not alone and you not know, welcome home. Yeah. Welcome to my hood. My hood. My hood. Ain't nothing normal. You can take a walk in my hood. My hood. Everything paranormal. Paranormal. Everything paranormal. Yeah. We got something for you. Open up the door, you can be immortal. Yeah. You can give it to the world, step into the portal.
It's my theme music. Every good hero can have some.
I'm gonna say that one more again.
It's my theme music. Every good hero can have some.
Alright, what's Hood Hoodies? Welcome back to the final stretch of Paranormal Hood Live. We're still here in the God of Knowledge Studios. Looking and sounding great. I'm your host, Jiggy.
I'm Smoke King.
Metaphor here.
Shout out to Lisa Winson. Awake across the pond. Riding out with us right now. We love you. Peace and love to you. I don't know if Lily should be in sleep, I'm sure, but peace and love to Lily as well. But thank you, because I know you're like hours ahead of us, so it's late 6 night hours. For you. 6 hours. Yeah, so late night.
You just waking up, are you still up from that?
I was waiting for my favorite show to come on. Come on. She was like, I gotta wait.
Did you stay up, or did you just wake up to start your day?
She stayed up. But no, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Because it's 10 here, so that means it's like 4 a.m. there. You know, some people could be starting their day there.
Lady Marin, Johnny Gibson. I wish that there was somebody else who could kind of back Adrian up. And it's not, again, it's not a fight. It isn't an argument. It's not that we're just like, even we're 100% sure that we know. Nobody really knows. Not even necessarily the people who went. I don't even know that what they're fucking capable of doing. They could have that fucking little device that blinks and you.
I'm just saying right now, if you played that footage and it was like, yeah, we're going to the moon, and they put that footage on TV up right now, and everybody watched it, they'd be like, yo, this shit is fake. This shit is fake as fuck. Like, pretend that never happened, and then boom, this is the day, but it boom right now, and that's what they roll with, and they're like, like, yo, this shit is fake as fuck. But in 1969, you're like, yeah, that seems pretty legit. I'll go with that, because I'm watching this on a box in the living room of my house. So yeah, I ain't gotta question shit right now.
Yeah, especially back then. Again,
you know what I mean? They just had TVs and shit. It was just like a.
Dude, think about it. Right now, we have TVs in our hands at all time. We can watch TV, any live.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I literally got fucking. There's 10 things right now I could watch something on right now.
You're talking about people who are relegated to something that was still fairly new.
Not everyone even had one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Not every. That was like maybe 1 in every 5 households had a TV at that point in time. And they want nothing shit to watch on it.
And remember something.
So anybody watch anything on it's gonna be like, whoa, holy fuck, that looks pretty fucking real.
And everything that was on TV, other than the news back then, was pretty much fiction. It was all shows, you know, if you watch TV back then, they were fiction shows about fiction people and fictional characters and stuff, along with probably, but they showed us the moon landing. It just kind of went along with everything else they were doing at that time. I'm sorry, I just don't see it as being that they necessarily went to the moon. They may have went that day. I don't know if they did it. Those guys are the ones who did it, or maybe they were part of the whole thing. Maybe there's some other people we didn't see off camera who were actually taking those pictures and stuff, who were the real people who were going to take the samples and do the other shit and go and check out the structures and everything else. Who knows? But I know that when you look at that footage, that shit just does not look like that those two dudes got off that little spaceship, little module, whatever you want to call it, and walked around on the moon and did all this type of shit. That shit looks like a perfectly groomed set somewhere in Hollywood. Or maybe they had to build that shit somewhere in the desert, or wherever they had to build it away from everybody. But anybody who says that they're not capable of doing that shit, they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. They've proved it over and over and over again. So the idea that there wasn't the plan, because even Stanley Kubrick said that he felt like it was kind of the plan B scenario, that if something didn't go right, that they wanted to film it to have inserts and different things that they could insert in there to make it look perfect. Because it was nothing else but it was supposedly a perfect landing.
It was supposed to be, like, again, it was this huge event. Most of the people, anybody that was fucking alive at that point in time and remembers watching and shit, it's still a big, huge thing. It's like fucking 9/11. Everybody remembers where they were on 9/11. Well, these people, everybody remembers where they were on fucking July 20th, 1969. They're like, yeah, I was at my cousin Eddie's because he had a TV and we was all watching it. The whole family was there. It was barbecue and everything.
We got to call on the call queue. I'm going to check this out in a second. Let's see what they have to say.
Let's take the caller.
Let's take the caller. Yellow caller, you are live on Paranormal Hood. There he goes.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
Yeah, I looked at the at the topic, and yeah, it doesn't seem that they went to the moon. You know.
Well, why do you think that they did all?
Especially.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, the footage, you know, like just common sense stuff. Like if you look at the pictures with the lander, no crater underneath, no dust, you know, the secrecy, you know, not going, you know, again as soon as you know, the technology gets better. Like you said, if they were to play it today, people would say it was a fake, you know. So you know, just that, and then also the fact that they didn't give a live feed, you know. So it's sort of like, you know, you had to have a you know, you're seeing it through another video, so you can't tell if it's being piped in from where, you know.
Right. Yeah, there's just
and,
so many.
You know, the more you look at it, yeah, the more fake, you know, it becomes, the more cover up, you know. Because once you find something out that's fucked up, pardon my language.
No, you can speak however you want. Go ahead. Whatever you want to speak.
Oh, all right, thanks. You know, like 9/11 or you know, moon landing. Once you find something that's, you know, where somebody's saying, trying to cover it up, that should bring suspicion right there to be like, wait a minute, why? Like if you caught somebody cheating or something, if they have nothing to hide, you could tell because everything's open. Once they start to, oh well, listen, that, you know, these people come out with campaigns of bullshit. I mean, with 9/11, I tell people, yeah. I'm in New York, so I mean, I've seen what happened, and people, it's just they are asleep, you know. So moon landing, when I researched it, they said that when they launched, I think it was the second one, that people called in and said that they were interrupting the reruns from I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
So, you know, you already had a serious
drop-off.
Mind control back then.
All they had to do was fool everybody at one point back then. They didn't think ahead that fucking 30 years from now everybody's going to be watching this on YouTube or anything like that. They had to show something. They had to do something that day. It was a big, huge, planned-out fucking event that day. Everybody knew, we're going to the moon today.
Right.
And if we didn't go to the moon today, that would have just looked so bad for us at that point in time. Like, there's so much shit would have changed. It would have changed everything, the whole course of fucking history, everything. So,
yeah. But
and people don't. That's what people don't look at. They just look at it like, well, okay, it looks real. No, it really doesn't. If you watch it, it doesn't look real. Even if I lived in 1969 back then, I probably would have been questioning myself. You know what I mean? If I wasn't like a little kid and stuff, a little bit grown up, but like, yeah, I know I'm just watching this on a picture box, but that shit doesn't look right.
What I noticed. It also they do things like this right in the middle of other events. Like if you look at '69, that was a very tumultuous time. During the civil rights, during the beginning of the war on drugs, the Vietnam War. Yeah. So I noticed that they always throw these things in. Okay, let's have a moon landing. Let's pull off some of this surplus we have and put people back into debt. Just the way when Clinton was in, there was $1 trillion or something surplus, and then Bush comes in, the country goes to war, all of the stuff happens with the real estate. So, today, without a doubt, from just the 80s, the average person is basically mentally almost lobotomized if you try to talk to them about reason. Like just the fact that you can't talk to a lot of people about the 9/11, story. That should really wake people up to say, look, you can't. As soon as you start to talk to somebody, they're not thinking. They're saying, well, they said this. I'm saying, I'm not telling you what they said. Don't you find it kind of funny? Don't you find it kind of odd that they said it was this country, and then they went in there and did that, and then oh no, they didn't find anything, and nobody gives a shit anymore. Nope. I'm like, what the fuck? And yeah, people are on autopilot. It just. The citizen is clearly more mentally controlled today, from what I think, from what I see, because when I was younger, I remember I could remember 20 phone numbers at least. Now I sometimes you can remember your own and maybe one other. They've created people that basically can't really function in society, or only a few of us can really think of ways to make money ourselves, with business legally, or you got to work for a business, or you got to go into government, and I don't know if you've ever seen that movie They Live. It the documentary has a similarity to society. Yeah, when homelessness is illegal, like in They Live, they had a part where they would come and sweep the homeless out of the area. In the beginning they had that, and it showed you right away how homelessness was basically illegal. It was terrorizing homeless people with the local enforcement. And what do we see today? I mean, just the fact that a few years ago when they made the law where it's illegal to feed homeless people, that shows you how asleep people are. Because we don't really know these things, and we say, well, how did this happen? Because we were on autopilot. They have us so busy doing our life every day, working, and people like us, I would say, that look at things with an open mind and saying, well, it could be. We're supposed to be like not rational or logical. We're not crazy, but not really in reality. When really that's how the other people are. If you can't talk about aliens and all of this other stuff, then what can you talk about? So you got to get permission to talk about something then. Mentally, the thought police have been here all along. They've been here all along. When they said, they're always here. My family, friends, you just got to figure out who's them and who's not. Or it's like we can turn into the thought police, and then we can kind of shake it off and say, man, what was I doing? You're right. I got to think about this. How could I believe what they're telling me happened on that day? Or, when they launched this stuff to the so-called moon, and then common sense comes in. Well, why haven't you went back to the moon?
Exactly. And
Is
why?
it because you couldn't fake it? You know, yeah. So common sense gotta kick in.
They've, people have talked about there's different things they could mine up there, whatever. Not even just to establish something on there. Like we're so into conquering anything. We put a flag someplace. Once we put a flag there, we want to colonize it. The idea that the moon is right there, you don't have to have anything elaborate up there, but you could build stuff. That's why I think that secretly they've gone up there, they've built whatever they want to build up there. We can't see everything that's up there. They've gone back and forth, but on that particular day, they hired Stanley Kubrick. Was like, make a backup contingency movie that we can use some of the footage, whatever we mess up or things don't go right. And at some point, they just weren't ready to conquer. Everything was out there. I don't know if that ship took off and then landed somewhere in the desert, if those guys went up in that ship and they just fell asleep because they gave them something that put them out and they just don't remember something that happened and ended up on a studio. And they could play with people's minds and stuff. We know that they use MK Ultra, different things too. Who's to say that these dudes don't 100% believe that they had an experience, that they did have an experience, they did film something, but whether or not these were actually the people who went to the moon is, in this particular case, is the question.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And back in 1969, it's real easy to fool people. Real easy to fool people. Look how easy it is to fool people today.
War
now
of the
think about
Worlds.
1969. Even that was
War of the
before
Worlds.
that.
With the radio, they fooled people into believing that the world was being invaded by aliens because they controlled the radio, they controlled the narrative, which is the word they use right now, and that's what they were able to do. To have Orson Welles had these people believe, oh my God, the aliens are here, they're taking over. They're calling their police, they're calling the military, they're calling hospitals, they're calling family members. I love you, I heard you're in the middle, and the people are, what the fuck are you talking about? Ain't nothing going on. That's some radio shit. So they can fool people easily. They just used it. Well, they went from one small idiot box that sent out a signal to a bigger idiot box. That's what they call it, programming. They're programming you to believe what they want you to believe. And on that particular day, they wanted you to believe that we went to the moon with these dudes and they did all that type of shit. And I still question that that's even what went on. I think them dudes were in a really, really cool-ass fucking movie set somewhere filming that shit. And why wouldn't they? People are like, well, why wouldn't they tell people? They have everything to lose. They became heroes. Everybody wanted to be them at the time. Everybody looked up to them. The whole world was looking at these, was like, wow, they did something no other human beings would ever do. Would you say no to that? Especially back then. Hell no.
Hell no.
Come back to being Buzz Aldrin is still the dude. Not really so much. He's kind of off the grid now, but you watched him on the internet. I was an Instagram follower of his and shit. He's living the best fucking life possible.
Evil now.
He's Cheech and Chong. Seriously, if you watch that dude, he's one of the coolest people on the planet currently. If you watch that dude and how he maneuvers, because he became a hero.
It's not real.
Exactly. Let me fuck up everything.
Let me fuck all this shit up.
Let me go to jail and them fucking ostracize my family and everything because I want to be the dude to blow the whistle.
That's how they keep people silent. Certain people, they get all this fucking shit, fame, fortune, whatever, for the rest of his life. Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, they had it made for the rest of their lives. All right, and the other people closely involved in stuff like that were either paid off or they were threatened in one way or another. That's how this shit is done.
Or again,
it's either that they offer you some money and you're like, no, that's not enough money, and they say, well, we're going to kill your whole family.
Okay, I'll take it.
Okay, cool. What do you want me to do? Money talks, and so does fear, and that's how this shit gets done. I mean, again, they didn't have to. People are always with this conspiracy of the moon thing. They're like, oh, 400,000 people were involved. No, 400,000 people weren't involved. 90% of them were watching the same thing we were all watching. So 10% of that 4,000,
yeah.
I mean,
well, also,
go ahead.
You can look at any factory, and most people, when they work at a factory, don't really know how the end product is formed.
Exactly.
And they could be making parts, especially. I got a friend who works at a factory, and he found out that the parts go to weapons manufacturer and military contracts. So you look at that and you say, wow. They try to use the excuse, oh, well, how did all of these people not know? Well, of course, they keep it in secret. Just like, if you look at any world, if you look at law enforcement, most people don't know what's going on at the top. They're just told what to do. Same thing with military. So, one guy made a good point to me. He said, if a magician can fool you, which a magician could fool almost all of us, with certain tricks, we would know it's a trick, but we would not know how he did it. If a magician can do that, what do you think the government can do to you? How much,
exactly.
Right? So the common sense, that's what I don't find in this society as much today, because of school. You know, I mean, school.
Yeah,
like
we're indoctrinated
they,
from the age of fucking 5. Well, whenever we start kindergarten, they start programming it into your head to fucking believe everything that fucking comes out of the government's mouth and shit like that.
Yep. And now it's even worse. I have to remember, because it seems that we're all like older in our 40s, or at least.
Yeah.
You know, a person that's 20 only knows what the official story of a lot of stuff was. You know, so that's some serious stuff. You know, you look at somebody that's 25, you know, when they were, you know, 9/11, they you know, still, you know, they're under 10. And now you look at that person as an adult right now, and you try to talk with them. I had one guy, he's actually in his early 30s, and I think he was a teenager in high school when it happened. And him and his wife were still debating on whether or not they could even believe that it was, you know, like, you know, they were almost there, because they were saying, yeah, you know, there is a lot of stuff, but they were just, you know, the indoctrination from being in high school. You know, I mean, I was an adult when that happened, and I already was aware of corruption and stuff, so when it happened, I was like one of the very, very, very few people that was like, holy smokes, the government did that. And there was another guy who was a doctor that I know, he knew too. He goes, man, he goes, can you believe that? Now, most people were saying, oh man, other people or whatever, or terrorism, or, you know, whatever the government said, but there were very few people that really knew, you know, in 2001 what was going on. And then when I saw, I think it was 02 or 03, when the guys came out with Loose Change, they made a lot of sense, you know, and that, I think that woke a lot of people up. But then there was a big campaign to shut that down, and now you have people today that don't really know. They don't want to know.
It's not that they don't want to know.
You know, isn't that where, you know, Muslims or whatever, you know, and you look at it and you say, well, wow, this person doesn't really know. But there's nothing you can say to even try to wake them up. I look at it as they're done. They're zombified. That's the zombie apocalypse.
Whoever controls the narrative, whoever controls media, whoever controls everything, controls
stupidity, really, like ignorance, you know, whatever.
But whoever's controlling everything that goes on is controlling their minds. They're not going to think outside the box, because like everybody else on 9/11, during the moon launch, well, the takeoff and people walking on the moon and everything, people are captivated by that type of stuff. They're captivated. I was captivated. Everybody you ask, most likely, if they're over a certain age, can tell you where they were, what they were doing on 9/11, how I walked outside and saw for the first time in my life no planes and stuff, because we live by airports and stuff. We see planes constantly. It was very, very shaking. But then once that wears off and you start to look at things, and back then I wasn't really a big conspiracy theorist, as they like to call it. I wasn't really into all the paranormal hood stuff, all the stuff I'm doing now. But even then I'm watching stuff and I start looking over again, like, wow. And then they tell you how the stuff came from here and what was going on and where these dudes were and what hotel and all, and they break all this stuff down, and you're just like, okay, I guess. And then you find out that, you know, that there's no planes flying, the military was on stand down, they were doing drills and all this type of shit, and you're like, well, where's the response? And you start to look at all the things that are going on. Even when you start to look at the little things like a hurricane that's supposed to hit that conveniently doesn't hit, moves away, people forget everything that was going on.
9/11 is the same thing. All people had to go with what they were seeing on TV, unless you were actually there live, you know, in New York City or whatever. Everybody else just had to watch it. And unless you had an open mind and stuff like us and stuff, you would have been like, oh yeah, that shit seems legit. But I was watching it and I was like, something's not right here. I didn't have all the facts and everything, but I questioned it from the beginning. I was like, there's no fucking way that a plane hit that fucking building and it burned for an hour and it fell to the fucking ground. It's impossible. Not happening. Right from the get-go, and I said, and then it happened again. And then a few hours later, another one. I said, right away from when I saw it, even when I watched the plane go through the building, I said, there's no way that plane would have gone through there. Even I was 21 at that point in time and stuff. I was questioning. I was like, there's no, that plane would have hit it like a fucking soda. If you throw a soda can, a full soda can, at a concrete wall, watch what happens. That's what would happen to the fucking plane. It would have hit it and go down. Maybe a couple windows broke. A few pieces would have went inside, but it pretty much would have hit it, and fallen down to the ground.
But again, too, that's the same thing when you're watching the moon footage. You're watching
the
something.
The structure would have not been affected at all.
But most people, they watch it and they're like,
State Building.
Because they don't know and they're not question. They don't question everything, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that seems possible. I just saw it on TV." Really? You really think a plane could fucking fly through a building like that? But a lot of people really do, because that's they. You know, they're so their minds are so wrapped up in, oh, I gotta fucking work, I gotta feed my family, I don't got a time to fucking worry about other shit. Let me just see it on the TV. Oh, the TV says it's that. Okay, cool. Let me go with that. I gotta go and do this, because we're all just fucking running the rat race. So most people just running the rat race and shit. So
and the funny thing too now is they just launch stuff into space all the time, and we're not captivated. Some people who live by it are watching and stuff. Then you got other people who are putting up videos on YouTube. They think, oh my god, I just saw a spaceship or something. No, idiot, they just launched something. But people don't even really care, in a sense, when they're launching shit, and it's not really publicized. So all the stuff that when it comes to even space and the moon and stuff, like, I just want these motherfuckers to go back, show me what's going on the moon. But even when they get there at this point, we know they've already been there. They've been doing shit. They're still going to show us what a little part of the moon we're going to see. Same thing with Mars. They're going to start a little part of Mars and work their way out.
Yeah, like when Elon Musk and fucking the Virgin Galactic dude and shit, when they go to the moon, they're only going to be allowed to go to a certain part of the moon. I guarantee you that. You ain't going to be going all over the moon and shit like that. You ain't going to be doing none of that.
He might be able to. Elon himself, they're like, you already know what's up here, dude. Don't worry about it. We already told you everything.
But you ain't bringing other people around to see what the fuck's going around. You got this little quadrant right here and shit. You land and stuff. That's it. That's
him and his alien-ass mama. His pleading mama. They got all that shit already planned out.
I think there may be civilizations on there now. Who knows? There might
That's why I'm saying when they go there, they're only going to be able to go to certain areas and shit.
Yep. They've already talked to the aliens. The aliens already told them where they can go. All right, we told you could wait this long. Now you can come up here, but you can only go this particular part. Don't go too far, because you might hit something and not know what's there. The shield and shit they probably got around, and the domes and all that shit up there. Little by little. Same thing with Mars. They only go
It might actually...
Go ahead.
Like that movie Elysium. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
It could be kind of like that, too. You know? Yeah.
With the space station? You're talking about when they built that space station?
Well, that's the other thing. Is the fucking moon, or is it the fucking space station?
The satellite, the space station. What is the damn thing?
I think it might actually be space station. I mean, when we look at physics and all of this stuff, the big thing about the moon is they're saying that it's the radiation belts that are around Earth that we don't have, the shielding to go through that would have to be like 2, 3,
no, but see, here's the thing is,
thick. Now,
here's the thing with that, though. Everybody misinterprets what NASA and what they say about that radiation belt. They only say that the radiation belt can harm equipment and it can kill you. They don't say it will harm equipment, and it does. It can, and it can disrupt it and stuff, but there's ways to go through the Van Allen the belt without going through getting hurt or getting too much fucking shit, because we've done it because they go to the moon and shit like that. But it's not as dangerous as everybody makes it out in all these YouTube videos, like, you can't go through it, you can't do that. No. Nobody's ever said you can't go through it. It's just, it's a little dangerous. It's like going through fucking, for however much time you're like standing in front of a fucking x-ray at the hospital. But you know what I mean? So
the other thing I notice is, well, especially with flat earther people, that, to solve the whole thing, somebody could either rent, an airplane and fly up to that point, or like the rich guy from California did, 10, 20 years ago when he paid the Russians to so-called go into space on the space station. And, this is the thing. If we can't make a prototype, a remote control thing to test it, where we always got to take their word for it. Oh, we can go through it, or we can't go through it. We can never really know. It's kind of like me telling you something, but I'm never, ever letting you be able to prove it for yourself. You always have to take my word for it.
But
and we're in that situation. Yeah.
But
so
that thing with
there might not even be Van Allen belts.
Oh, no, there is that. There's ways you can show that and stuff like that. I mean, I can't go into the whole detail and stuff like that, but there's ways that you can do it and stuff. You can fucking figure it out, that stuff on your own. That stuff is there, but I've even looked into this. I'm like, let me just see where NASA or anybody's ever said that the Van Allen belts will kill you. Yeah, they'll kill you if you're up there with nothing around you. Nothing at all around you. Nothing.
That's the thing.
You know what I mean? But that's the thing with it.
You need something. Yeah, that's. It's very thick. Like
it doesn't even have to be that thick or anything. Anything a space capsule would be just fine to go through it. There's nothing up there. Again, I tried to look to see and how long you have to actually stay there for it to be like lethal and stuff, even in the spaceship and stuff like that, is a pretty long time.
You're looking at tens of thousands of miles. So that's going to be, a while that you're going to.
And then here's the other thing that most people don't realize about the Van Allen radiator. It's not a full fucking circle around us and stuff. It's wavy and stuff. And there's ways, the way that they go out and they shoot through it, they go through the smallest point of it, because it's kind of like the rest of the electromagnetic waves and shit that go out and around the Earth and stuff. There's points where it's not as strong and then not as much and stuff like that. And that's the way that they go through it and everything like that. So, again, we know that they've been to the moon. We know that they've been to the moon. There's proof, there's evidence that they've been to the moon and stuff. You can go outside with a laser and you can point it at the things. You just got to find the coordinates and stuff and know where it is, and you can point it there. And you know that you're pointing it at a man-made thing, because if you're pointing at anything else on the moon, it doesn't reflect back. And you can look with.
I don't see proof for that. I don't see proof. There is no proof for that on the internet or in the NASA files. They say that you could see the footprint. That turned out to be a lie.
No, you can't.
That you can shine a laser on a mirror. That turned out to be a lie.
No, you can really do that though.
Astronomy.
Have you done it? Have you gone to point a laser at it?
There is no telescope powerful enough on Earth right now. I mean, when you zoom it in, if you go to the Hawaii telescope, I think it's Paloma, that you can't see that magnification. With the Hubble, you might be able to zoom in, but even that, when you look at it, you start to say, just like 9/11, the moon landing, the Russians made a good point. The technology to get there, that it would take. It would be too much for the technology where we were at in the 70s. Now, the common sense comes in. That is a serious thing, going to the moon. So if we could accomplish that, what the hell would stop a person from not making like a railway to go there, like a whole space station, and we're inter planetary civilization. You see what I'm saying? What would hold that back? People act like, oh yeah, we went to the moon. You know what a big accomplishment that shit is, and for people to take it so lightly shows me it's bullshit. It has to be bullshit, because you're talking about the Jetsons, but people want to live future like the Matrix. So when I was a kid, I looked at that. I said, yeah, future. They had a bright vision of the future, of technological advancement, cartoons like the Jetsons. But now it's like that mental concentration camp. Where people will say, oh, all these movies. Like, do you ever notice that all the movies of the future, there's no trees? Like the Matrix. When we're in the real world. Resident Evil and shit like that. You look at this and say, what the fuck? What happened to the happy, technological future? Or even self, if it's not the perfect utopia where it's still technological. It's not a destroyed Earth or something like that. It's more, an advanced, like, I don't know, The Last Starfighter or Star Wars or something like that, or Star Trek even. They've changed that. So I think it's just a choice that we got to choose with each other to say, I want the Star Trek you know, over the Matrix.
Well, that's what the Space
feature.
Force is supposed to be, right? That's going to be the Star Trek. That's what the Trump Space Force. He's going to make the Space Force so that they can go out there and boldly go where no man has gone before and explore the universe and take over the universe and police the universe and stuff. Because, I mean, that's also what they did. They didn't strongly say, but pretty much that's what the Federation did. They kind of policed the universe. They explored shit, but their job was to stop things.
Yeah.
So that's how I with the whole like
Right,
Space Force thing, it
yeah,
seems like that's the direction they're going. Like they just kind of outwardly want to say, you know, this is what we're capable of doing. This is what they're not going to say we've been doing it, but they're just going to come out with some shit quick, like they did back then, a 7-year turnaround to come up with what they came up with to go to the moon. It's going to be something soon and quick, and they're just going to say, this is what we have, and it's what we're going to start doing, and blah, blah, blah. It's just, I think it's going to get very Star Trek-y, very, very, once that Space Force gets, it's going to, Star Trek kind of future is going to happen quicker than we think. Now, whether or not they're going to be using propulsion engines or some shit to jump through stargates and stuff, I don't see that happening. I just think it's going to start slowly, but that's the way they want to go with it. They want the stars now. They want the planets. They want to conquer it all.
I've always looked at Star Trek. Yeah, later on, it did come to seem like it was like Space Police. You're right. It kind of, Star Wars is more, you know, saga. It could actually be more realistic because you're going to have just constant beef, you know, with, you know, different type of alien life forms, and, you know, the bottom line was weapons, just like we see today. The Earth is basically under military occupation, you know, and
dude, look at the Empire.
Probably how.
But look at the Empire. The Empire was a corporation. They had all the money. They went and got the clones. They could do whatever they wanted to do. They had unlimited spending. That's basically what they represent, and the rebels represent the people. You know, the average person who's working and fighting and stuff like that, fighting this big corporation at the good side and the dark side. That's pretty much what Star Wars is. That's exactly what they are. Star Trek, again, was just more they're policing. That was the good guys, in a sense. They represent the good guys, but they're policing the universe. Some shit doesn't look right. We got to go take care of it. Klingons or whatever and stuff like that. Some shit we got to blast off the sky. Some other things we can be cool with and shake hands with and everything and do the Vulcan symbol and shit.
Yeah.
That's
definitely. And then keep pushing further. You know, keep expanding and
they're corporatizing
the galactic rim, other galaxies.
Just corporatize it. That's what they are doing. Tesla, Elon Musk, whatever, those companies and stuff like that, Virgin Galactic, they're corporations. They're just going to take space and make it one big corporation. You're going to pay a lot of money to go out there and enjoy stuff.
Even Alien.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, the movie Alien was a corporation, right? That was sending them out to colonize, get the alien and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And when they knew what was there, they were still
Wayland Corporation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's the Wayland Corporation, actually, which is that ties into a whole bunch of shit in all the movies with fucking that dude.
Prometheus and all that shit.
All that stuff. It's all fucking tied together. Dude's fucking mind is fucked up. Yeah. He knows some shit probably, though. He knows something. He's like, yeah, that's the same thing with fucking... with George Lucas and shit. How the fuck did he comes up with the Death Star and everything, and then we find out like a year or two later that there's a fucking moon on Saturn, around Saturn, that looks exactly like the Death Star.
the inside.
Yeah, he knew about that. Yeah, that's like ancient. Ancient folklore. It definitely seems like Darth Vader came from like the Hindu deity Ganesh, you know, with that elephant head
and everything like that. Yeah, there's so much stuff in hidden stuff that's in like all these stuff like that, and it's like, where the fuck do you get all this information from, dude?
There's actually a good on YouTube Ganesh prehistoric pilots, and it shows about that, you know, and also the you know, how, because Ganesh was a pilot and all of that, and then, you know, they have a vase in Mexico, I think it is, with what looks to be like they say like a sword of light, and then I think in Cambodia they also have something like that too, like a legend. So that could be the lightsaber. They have, if you guys are near a computer or something, they have you type in, I think it's Lady of Elchi, Elche, from Spain, and she looks like Princess Leia. You know, it's an artifact, and also the Hopi native women, their maiden headdress would have the curls on the side of the head, kind of like Princess Leia. I think George Lucas got it from there as well. A lot of stuff from Star Wars. I noticed he had, you know, the samurai helmet for Vader, the breathing, like the Ganesh, the, you know, the pilot. You know, Ganesh was a pilot, basically.
Yeah. Art imitates life. Life imitates art. That's exactly what they're doing. Again, I just want them to go back to the moon, show us some shit, start doing some stuff up there. I want to see I know Michael Jackson's up there. I know he's still up there performing. There's a lot of other people up there too, just chilling. It's probably a vacation spot and shit. Like in They Live. Remember in They Live, they had the ability to go to like a teleporter and teleport anywhere in the galaxy. That's probably how they get there too at this point. They may not even have to take a ship. They probably just teleport into really, really wealthy people.
Another thing too, like Dune was really good because it had the way of traveling with the, you know, like the spice. So an herb, you know, would make you be able to travel through time and space physically.
Yeah.
You know, and whoever controls
mushrooms.
Yeah. And yeah, mushrooms could do that. The ayahuasca.
Yep.
You know, and when you think about that, mushrooms. I forgot what researcher said. He said mushrooms could be looked at as like a technology,
Yeah.
like an interdimensional technology. Yeah, it really.
Yeah.
It seems to be.
They are the technology.
The key to the universe.
Sure are.
They took me into mushrooms.
What?
Oh, the moon. I just want to go to the moon. I just like Mars, anything. Just leave. Just go see some of this stuff, and just first of all, just be able to go out and look at Earth from space and start there and shit. I'm just tired of watching videos of satellites and space stations and whatever else is out there. Look at this shit. I want to go see this shit for myself. All my life I've heard about all this stuff and all these people who've never been there telling me all this stuff about the moon, who went to the moon, how it gets done, who's doing this, what's doing that. Now you got the Musk and the Virgin Galactics and all this stuff. I just want to go see some of this shit for myself. I'm tired of hearing other people talk about it and what's out there. I can see some of this shit with the eye. I can see some of this stuff when we're up in Vermont and stuff. I can see some stuff with telescopes and everything, but it's still not the same. I just want to go out there. Then we can tell the flat earthers that the earth isn't flat. Unless, like I said, that might be what it is, that the earth is flat and that we're on the top and on the bottom is the moon, like kind of surface. So when they took off, they just went around and ended up on the bottom of the flat earth, which is the moon side. No? I just, you know, I was trying here. But Stanley Kubrick
Yeah,
just...
you don't gotta go into space to prove the earth is flat. Or not flat.
Well, apparently
it's real easy.
They do. Some people apparently they do. They need to go see it for themselves. All these, there's so many people, Kyrie Irving's, the Shaqs and stuff, the what's his name, Wale, they got all that money. Put some money together. It don't cost that much. Just go take a ride up there.
Exactly.
That's all you got to do.
Money where your mouth is. Fucking go and do it. If you can't figure it out for yourself on without leaving the fucking ground that you're on a ball right now and you got to go into space and you're gonna talk all this shit, Kyrie Irving, I know you're making a shitload of money playing for the
Uncle
fucking
Drew,
Celtics.
making money off of movies and everything.
Movie money and shit. You telling me you can't fucking afford to go into space right now?
Come on. You could probably sell all your sneakers
Yeah,
and go into space.
bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Sneaker money.
Shaq.
Shit. You could sell a house and go into fucking...
Sell a car. Shit, he probably got a car that's worth that. Shit. Shaq, we know you got long money, brother, for a long time. You can go. You still working. You can go into space. Although they have the big ass rocket for him though. Do they build rockets for 7-footers? I don't think tall people really go.
He got the money. He customizes all his fucking
I'm
cars.
gonna make me a Shaq rocket. It's gonna be a personal rocket for me to a bunch of NBA players. I'm gonna take Dennis Rodman too, and a couple other people going to space. And yeah, it's gonna be a big rocket. We're gonna play basketball in space too. We're gonna have a team up there, big three
But
in
space
space.
isn't real, Shaq. I thought.
Well, there's no gravity and stuff. So up here, we're gonna play a different kind of basketball, and it's gonna make me look like I'm 20 years old again because there's no gravity, and I can just run and dunk on everybody. Can you dig it?
No, all right. Kyrie Irving, well, he's still tall too. Wale's not that tall. There you go, Wale. You can do this. Talk to your homies. I know we're friends with all these rich folks and everything, and these athletes and actors and everything. Get with the ones who believe it's a flat Earth. You can be the representative because you're not that tall. You can stress about a big ass spaceship. Go up there and do it.
We should get tickets to Celtics games and go with a sign that says, "Kyrie, put your money where your mouth is."
Flat Earth.
Flat Earth.
Kick them out. Video of us getting kicked out and shit. I'm a Kyrie friend. I don't want to mess with him during the game, though. That sign might throw him off. I hit him up on Twitter. But yeah, just do that. That's all you gotta do.
That's it.
There's that dude, remember the guy months ago who tried it? He tried to prove it by making his little homemade ship. He did. He put his money in his mouth.
There's ways to doing it without leaving the earth and stuff like that, and they can do it really simple themselves. But I don't know why they don't.
I'd rather them leave the earth.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly, because it's gonna be way funnier. But
exactly, leave the earth and be like, oh shit, I can see all around the globe. What? What'd you say? Around. Mm-hmm.
They say that all the time anyway.
But we only see the upper part of the
people all around the world think the earth is flat. Yeah, all around it?
Yeah, around the globe.
Don't you mean all across it? No, all around it. Okay, cool.
Thanks for not proving your argument. But the moon, I don't know, folks. I'm still, no matter what I've looked, we've done tons of research. Even Adriana gave it the good old college try. I just think that they've been to the moon and other shit, but I don't think that on that particular day that's what they did. I think they had a nice elaborate little setup and they weren't ready. They wanted to be the first ones to do it. They wanted to show the rest of the world because, again, after they did it, everything just kind of shut down. Nobody really cared. It wasn't a big deal. Those other dudes, those other astronauts and stuff, they may get a school or something named after them. Like, we know that the ones who died and like Challenger and shit like that. But those first 3 dudes to do it, they're heroes. Everybody loved them. They had everything to gain, but they had everything to lose by saying, yeah, it was fake, or yeah, we ended up I was enacting in a lot. I had a rig and harness and stuff. They're not going to do that, and neither would anybody else, especially back then. Can you imagine what they would have done to you back then? One that had been like, we interrupt this program because the poor astronaut, he's still suffering from space deprivation and stuff, and he's having some issues with his oxygen stuff, so we're going to isolate him for a while and put him in the hospital and shit, and people had been having candlelight vigils outside the hospital and shit where they would have reprogrammed his mind. He wasn't trying to do that shit back then, and neither would anybody else listen. I don't care who you are or what you say. Wasn't no one going to be the first person to be like, oh yeah, well guess what, we didn't do this. Sorry. And I think with space, I think we do a lot of shit in space. Talk about a super secret space force. Now they're even talking about a space force and all this shit. Listen, we've done some shit out there, but those 3 guys doing it on that particular day, yeah, they did it. They definitely made a movie. They made history in a movie, and they did it in a lot somewhere. Sorry. They may have gotten a ship. The ship may have taken off. Things come back to Earth. Oh, that's just the separation modules and shit or whatever and stuff. They probably did go up in a little ship and came around and landed somewhere, and then they gave him a shot and took him somewhere, and the way they do the mind program and the Manchurian candidate shit.
It makes me wonder, if there's no space, then what is it? You know, like space explains, like you said, when something goes up.
People don't realize everything is space. There's so much space right now in between each little atom of your body and stuff like that. Everything is space. Nothing is real.
Exactly. It's like how not exist. I always wondered. And they're big.
Like we're a fucking you could consider each person its own universe.
Universe.
Yeah. Yep. With all different life forms, the organs, the bacteria.
And then you just take that even each organ inside a person could be its own universe, and just when you get down to it on the molecular level and shit, the way it would look.
There's little things inside you wondering where it can go and what it can do.
Little solar systems, like.
The molecular level, all the atoms and stuff like that make up the liver or the heart or whatever and shit would look like a fucking solar system in a fucking galaxy in the universe.
You know what's the funniest thing about this conversation? All night, only one person that has been listening so far or watched or whatever, the people have come and gone and still watching.
I know, we haven't even had any flat earthers chime in and say, we never went to the moon because it's bullshit. The moon's a fucking light bulb in the sky, dude.
They just change the batteries every now and then.
They say the moon is flat too, or no?
No, they don't.
Oh no, that's the fucking greatest thing about flat Earth. There's nothing else is flat except for the Earth.
Just the Earth.
Just the Earth.
Unless everything else is flat facing us.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I've never heard them say anything else in the universe is flat.
No, they admit, yeah, we know the Mars is around, we know the Saturn's around, the sun is around and stuff, but the way the sun goes around and the moon goes around us on our flat Earth isn't the way that we're told by NASA and everybody else. Which they can't fucking prove that either, because every single model, flat Earth model of the sun and the moon going around, there's people that would be in the dark at the wrong times, people would be in the light, and when other people would be like, they'd be like, huh? No flat Earth model can make it look like actual reality. They can't come up with it. Every single flat Earth model contradicts the fucking model before it and shit and theory and fucking hypothesis before it. Each thing that comes out of their mouth is like, really? But you just said this. What about that? They're like, well, no, this is what I'm saying now.
But yeah,
forget about all that.
Yeah, that was old stuff. This is the new information, you know. But no, everything else is round.
Again, they just take they you know, they're like, it says it in the Bible. No, you just misread the Bible, along with everybody else who read the Bible. You're just not reading the Bible. You're taking it. You're interpreting it like they fucking guy standing up in front of the church every fucking Sunday. He's just giving you his interpretation of what the Bible says, not actually what the Bible says.
Yep. Research it for yourself. Sorry, folks. I guess that pretty much everybody agrees that I don't think we went to the moon. No, I'm sorry. We went to the moon, but that footage at the moon, the first supposed moon landing and walk on the moon, and one small step and one giant leap.
Right there is Israeli footage of somebody on the moon.
Sorry.
Nope.
Thank you to Stanley Kubrick for directing such a phenomenal thing and captivating the world and everything. But yeah, it was a great movie.
Adriana Gibson. We still love you, but no. Yeah. I don't think that footage was real. Yeah, I agree. There's some footage of some people that look like they may be on the moon, but I don't think they're on the moon.
Because once those helmets go on, too, that could be anybody doing anything. And they're just sitting there with, who knows? Sorry. It's just the way it works.
It's just real questionable. Real questionable.
And again, there was another caller who came but left. They didn't stay long, but I haven't had one other person other than Adriana. Nobody. Sorry. We didn't go to the moon on that day. That footage is fake. We've been to the moon. They're probably doing all kinds of shit. Michael Jackson's up there on the moon partying right now. He's probably doing fucking hating the fact that he's doing his set. He got to go back on at 11. Then at midnight, he does like a 45-minute set. And Tupac might be up there. Maybe Elvis. I don't know who else might be up there. But that's where they go. There's a big-ass resort on some part of the moon. They went up there. They were like, oh, shit, there's already some shit here. And the aliens was like, yeah, like, now that you motherfuckers have been here, why don't a few of y'all stay and do some work? We got some friends who like to come and visit anyways. Y'all could be the entertainment and shit. Send Mike up here. But on that particular day, that particular footage, nope. Sorry.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Faked. They didn't do it. Nope. Sorry. And when they go back, I'll wait till they go back. That's what I'm waiting for. They'll be doing it soon, supposedly, in the next few years. So they can go back and we'll start from scratch there. We'll see what it looks like now, what's going on, what's happening, where they go, because they're going to have a limited amount of space they probably can do up there anyway. So we'll see. But all these years later, we're probably going to find out. Was it 40 years later? It'll be 40 years next year?
Fucking 50 years,
50,
dude.
Yeah, 50. I was like, well, yeah, 50 years.
49 years this year.
So 50 years later, a little bit later, we'll see. We're going to find out. But that particular thing, sorry. Again, I have to say it.
Nope, not buying it.
Nope.
Nope, not buying it. That was not. I don't know what the fuck that was, but they weren't on the moon.
No. It was a nice set. I don't know if it was in Hollywood or in the desert somewhere, whatever they built that set or whatever. It was a really nice set. It looked really good. Everything was pretty cool. I was not alive back then. I didn't get to see it, but seeing it now, especially all these, being able to analyze it, stop it, rewind it, fast forward it, really look at shit and everything. It just, yeah, no. It's like a really cool movie set. They weren't expecting us to do this. They wasn't thinking none of that shit. That 40 years, 30 years, 40 years, now 50 years later, that people would be able to analyze it, stop it, slow it up, listen to the sound, and talk to people who were there, some people who were listening to ham radios, because there's all kinds of stuff that came out from it that people were saying that they saw something, that Neil Armstrong was when he first got down, he's like, oh, or they're here, or something's out there, and all this type of stuff, or something's following us. There's all kinds of different things that supposedly people picked up.
And here's the other thing too. I found out that people have been talking about that it's very, very, that most of the people aren't alive, but there were people, and they're the original tinfoil hat guys, And people that back then, some people did question what they were actually seeing at that point in time. There were people, and that's where they came out with fucking, you know, the tinfoil hat fucking people and the conspiracy theory fucking things started soon after all this stuff and everything. Is during that period in time and stuff. When you go back and you look into it and stuff, there were some people that actually questioned this back in the day. Like, did we really just do this? And it wasn't just the Russians, as everybody says. You know. But the Russians have said, yeah, no, we could tell they sent up a rocket that day. That's about all they could say.
Duh.
All the other countries that were monitoring that monitor all that stuff, they're like, yeah, something went up that day.
Even if you watch, again, even to this day, if you watch, most people who watch things go up into space, most people, it's still, even with all that's always doing this and SpaceX is launching this, they still have people who are putting up footage in 2018 of space launch that you know are happening that they think is aliens and stuff. So who's really looking at all this stuff enough to pay attention to it once it's out of your eye view? Who's got the what do you call it, the telescopes, whatever, the cameras with the lenses that can watch and track all? Most people aren't doing that. They're just not. And back then, they definitely weren't doing that. The Russians saw something. They had limited technology as far as radar and satellites and stuff back then. They could see just enough. They weren't quick enough to have the satellite, adjust it and everything so it can follow its track and we can see exactly where it goes. And we can put it on, watch this thing go to the moon. They didn't have that kind of technology.
Nope. Everybody just knew that stuff was going up into space. They couldn't track it unless they fucking NASA. Yep. Or the ones who send that. I mean, Russia could track their stuff and everything, where it was going and stuff, because they kind of knew where it was going and they were pinging off it and everything. But, I mean, for the most part, you can't really track stuff once it goes out. Well, nowadays you can fucking track anything where it goes. But
yeah. Just saying.
So, again, even if they did send them up and they did get there, they could have gotten there and fucking, oh, fuck, there's aliens everywhere. Fuck, we can't show this live.
Dude, there's like
roll the Kubrick footage. I mean, we've been talking about it all night. There's so many different variables and reasons why they would have done that. It's perfectly a plausible thing of why they would have had to fucking use some fucking fake ass moon landing footage.
And just to be prepared. Like, what if we get up there and we see something? You know, we're not prepared, that we weren't prepared for. So, Kubrick, we got you. They had him prepared. They had him on deck, and that's what we saw. That's what we're looking at. A really, really good movie set from 1969. It was very well directed. Looked like a great, great science fiction movie. But yes, we've been to the moon. We continue to go to the moon. I guess we go back to the moon soon. But that is not something I don't think happens or happened. But on that particular day with that particular footage, did they go and touch down and walk and then see some shit they weren't supposed to see? I don't know. So many years later. Just go back.
Anything's possible.
Just go back. I just want you to go back.
There's still a possibility that could be fucking really fucking moon footage, but watching it, very skeptical. On the scale of plausibility, it's very low on the plausibility of it being actual, real fucking people on the moon. But then again, it's still plausible that it could be from watching it and everything.
The aliens told them they had to go. That's what it was. All right, we're getting close to 11 o'clock just for a blog talk, but I mean, it still plays, whatever. We're going to smoke the last blunt.
90 seconds.
See, once she starts talking, you know the show's about to. So we're going to smoke this last blunt. You guys have any comments, questions? I still see some folks in the chat and stuff. Just throw it at us. I know all you. No one seemed to, again, there was no resistance. Like, no one other than Adriana, and she put up a good fight, and I'm still with her. Knowing that she wanted to be the first female to walk on the moon and stuff, I hope she still gets to walk on the moon. She may still be that. She may hit the lottery or whatever. Maybe they'll have a lottery for person, the first female, and she might win that and be the first female to walk on the moon. So,
60 seconds.
We're not taking anything away from what we're capable of doing, what NASA and all these other people are doing. That footage was just too. It's not even perfect. That's the thing about it. Looking at it back then, it was, this is perfect. But you look at it now and break it down and fast forward, rewind, pause.
They might have even been fucking shooting that live at the time, because how else were they going to fake everything out, you know what I mean? Right. Like, and get it all to tie in. So that's why you could see, like, there's certain things, like, what they weren't expecting him to fucking fall over, and then fucking, they're like, fuck, well, help him up, we're going to make it look like it's real and shit, like, you know? It could have all just been a whole fucking, a live fucking shot, live fucking thing. That's why there's so many mistakes, like, when you're watching it, like, wait a second.
He said, kidnap Buzz, make him talk. 10 seconds.
Shit, Buzz is off the grid. Like I said earlier, I've been following him on Instagram and stuff. He was fun to watch. Like this dude, like just live the best life.
And now all of a sudden,
but
it's like
you don't see him
somebody's
anymore.
like, keep it quiet.
He might be sick. He might be dying. He may have rolled his eyes 1-2 times too many behind Agent Orange when he was talking about the Space Force. If you ever watched that video, it's fucking
that's
hilarious.
fucking hilarious.
That dude is
just what Trump says is fucking hilarious, and then to fucking have Buzz Aldrin there rolling his eyes and be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
He's taking deep breaths, like fuck. He's shaking his head and everything. Yeah, they're probably like, oh, he disrespect me. He's got to go. He'll tell everybody about the Space Force. Buzz, you can't be on the Space Force. Sorry. You're not the right guy. You gotta go. Because Buzz is off grid. He might be sick or something. I hope not, but because he's the last one. Maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he's in hiding, like writing his memoirs. He's gonna tell the truth. Yeah, but
even though I was looking it up and stuff, because you can look up NASA and like who was there and stuff in the fucking the flight deck and all this stuff and going in the rocket, and you can see all the crew and other things and people that were doing stuff that everybody, like Buzz is like the only one really that I could find that of the important people that they list for that day of employees in NASA that were doing stuff and taking part in stuff like that. Buzz is like the only one that's alive on the list of important people that they list. I don't think anybody else is really like alive on the list.
Release the Buzz tapes. Come on, Buzz, tell us the truth. You're the last one. You're the only one, Buzz. You can tell us the truth. I hope that's what you're gonna do. So look us up.
Like at the end. Mm-hmm. That's what he does.
This is a Buzz video. But then people still wouldn't believe him. You'll still get people, oh, he's just, he just wanted to create waves before he left. You still have people who doubt it. Fake moon dust. And the funny thing is them asking people for that shit back. Like they gifted moon dust or moon rocks and stuff to different people in different countries and they asked for that shit back. That's hilarious. Is it because now they can test some other shit? Oh man. I'm sorry to burst anybody's bubble. I'm sorry, Adriana. Not to burst your bubble because you're still a believer, which is good. I wasn't trying to change your mind. I just don't think on that day that wasn't nothing.
What people saw on TV was actually footage of fucking somebody on the moon.
Good movie. It was a good live broadcast.
I'm not even questioning the fact that Buzz Aldrin never fucking went to the moon or anything like that. Right? It's iffy. But that footage right there, I'm gonna have to say.
Like people would line up to go to the moon. Volunteer. All them astronauts and stuff who probably went to the
people
space program.
That's
probably what most of them
go.
Well, they probably asked most of those people who lined up for that, like for the space program, like, why do you want to be in the space program? Because we went to the moon. I want to go to the moon. Oh, okay, cool. Sign them up. Become an astronaut. Oh, well, your mission is to go in a space shuttle and just hover around Earth for a while, or a space station and shit. Like, it's so anticlimactic at this point. That's the part of it.
That's fucking cool as fuck, dude.
I mean, it's cool as fuck. I'm just saying, like they said, like, you just, but still, like,
I just want a jacket.
2008. A what? A NASA jacket, like a
I want a
flight
Space
jacket?
Force jacket.
Oh, you want a Space Force jacket? Good luck with that shit. What, a Halloween costume? You want it as a Halloween costume?
That's how I would go as fucking.
Just the word, I think it's
Space Force fucking pilot.
hilarious.
I was gonna put on an Air Force fucking suit and I'll fucking write space.
No, just go. Remember Battlestar Galactica? Those uniforms and shit. You just write Space Force on it. Be Starbuck and shit in space.
But that's all it's gonna be is the Air Force, and they're just gonna write space.
I'll be Boomer, the black dude. No, wait, Boomer, not Boomer. Boomer wasn't the black dude. Shit. That's all that shit is. Just find it, like the stupid, like and the craziest fucking sci-fi movie.
On the little badge, instead of like F-14 fucking, fucking planes, it's gonna be like little spaceships.
Little tiny
it's not gonna say Air
spaceships.
Force, it's just gonna say Space Force, and then everything else is gonna be the same.
Do you want to know more?
I guess so.
Guys in the Air Force are gonna wake up and they'll be like, "What? I'm in the Space Force now." How did that happen?
What the guan?
I don't want to go into space.
I can sign up for this.
Yeah, sweet. I was wondering how I was gonna have to do this.
See, I'll tell you something. If there was like a galactic threat, and they got like laser guns and shit and different things,
Jiggy would join the Space Force. So, you know, if they were like, we got to take everybody, even you older fucked up motherfuckers, got to come and protect the planet. Cool. But I saw Starship Troopers. I keep saying this over and over again. If they handed out machine guns and shit, this is the space machine gun. It spits out more rounds per second and shit. I'm not going. I'm not going. If they're sending space shuttles,
I know they're still using grenade launchers and shit like
exactly.
that. You're flying there in a fucking spaceship.
RPG. But wait, it's 1/6 gravity. It goes up and it comes right back at you. It's like a boomerang and shit. Like,
well, they
no.
did have some cool fucking nukes and stuff like that. Like
oh great, let's nuke some shit and then go in space.
Yeah,
and all that.
That's, you know.
Yeah.
But still.
Let's get some nuke. Who's gonna nuke all these motherfuckers?
Like, why are we still? Why weren't they just fucking eradicating the planet without even putting soldiers on the ground and shit and killing them from fucking the spaceship with a laser? Pew, 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 you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that. It's movies though, and again, there's rules to war. Everybody's got to remember there's rules to war. That's why things are done the way that they're done, and people are still sent into battle because you know what I mean. That there's rules. There has to be actual live people fighting wars.
Well, they got drones.
Well, no, they did, but they're only, you know, but there still has to be so many actual live soldiers on the ground or actually fighting and doing war stuff. It can't just be all mechanical robots and drones.
You want to know more?
Otherwise, you know, you get in trouble from the war police. I guess I don't fucking know. There shouldn't be war anyway, so it doesn't. Especially on this planet, we don't have. There's no aliens coming and stuff.
Hello, that's why there's a Space Force. They're going to take the war away from the planet out there. Reagan said it. Going to take something from beyond that threatens our way of life to bring us all together. Space Force. Space Force. Do you want to know
more? That's what
Independence
Day shit has been preparing us for.
Exactly. Will Smith's going to be doing the commercials and shit. You saw me fight aliens and save the world on Independence Day. Well, now it's your turn. Would you like to know more? To get jiggy with it. No.
Blasting aliens.
You'll be the man in black. See? Tom Cruise and shit. Every fucking every actor and shit. Arnold, you saw me fight Predator. Now you go fight Predator.
Oh my god. Oh man.
Hey, they did. I mean, Danny Glover did beat Predator. You know, in his like 50s and shit, with a sidearm.
Oh my gosh.
You never saw Predator 2?
That's sad.
They got like Predator 18 now.
Stop playing.
New one's coming out.
There was only 3 of them, right?
No, there's been like 7 of them.
Oh, wait a minute.
Because there was Alien vs. Predator, Predator Requiem and shit when they came to Earth and fucked up this town.
It all ties into all that other fucking shit. It's all fucking one big huge fucking... Who the fuck knows what it is?
Yeah. And they created us and we're going to evolve into aliens.
Prometheus too, right?
Yeah, Prometheus and Prometheus 2 and shit. And yeah.
Jeez.
Alien this, alien that. It's the same thing with the Matrix and the fucking Terminator. Most people don't know because those fucking assholes stole all that shit from the author Sophia Stewart, that those movies all tie together.
Yeah, I remember.
And that Neo is like either John Carter's brother or son, because it's the future. It takes place after John Carter and all that shit. So I think Neo's his son or something like that, or his brother or something.
That's when the robots took over or something like that.
So, basically when the robots...
They were never able to stop. The robots, like, fully took over and everybody, and that's what their plan was and stuff. Like, it's all tied together and shit.
Yep. So, even a lot of this shit is tied.
But again, the time travel and fucking Terminator, it would never work. It can't work. It doesn't happen. It can't happen.
Why not?
The whole thing fucking totally negates itself. Because Sarah Connor has to get pregnant in the first fucking place. And she can't her son can't be in the fucking future to fucking come back and fucking send somebody back to fucking pregnant her if she can't get fucking pregnant in the first place.
Huh? Is this some chicken and egg shit? I'm too high for that,
man. Pregnant from somebody from the future that can be sent back from the future by her son that's in the future. She can't have a fucking son in the future if nobody was ever fucking there and the fucking fuck her in the beginning.
Yeah, because he came from... Huh?
Wow,
damn it! Don't fuck it up.
That's crazy.
It doesn't. No matter how you look at it, it doesn't fucking work. I've tried it. I love the fucking Terminator movies and shit. It doesn't fucking work. of all the fucking laws and the rules of fucking time travel and everything you fucking thinking stuff.
We've been lied to.
That it would work and it could keep going like that. Because John Connor cannot exist in the future unless somebody is already there to fuck her in the past, in the first place.
Damn it all.
Right. Otherwise, he wouldn't have to send anybody back.
He could have never ever fucking existed to fucking send anybody back and have done any of that. She would have had to fucking been pregnant already.
So maybe that's what it really is. Then she really was already pregnant, and they just
Who the fucking knows? In the new Terminator.
Well, they stole this shit anyway.
But the new Terminator's coming out with her, Sarah Connor, and fucking Arnold the back. So
yeah, but it probably got nothing to do with Sophia Stewart. That's just the fucking Wisniewski sisters or whatever, whoever now trying to hold.
I don't know what the fuck it is. What the fuck the new one's gonna be? Well, James Cameron got the Terminator stuff. It's James Cameron, and the Matrix is the other one. Fucking sisters now.
Thieves.
But yeah, no matter how you look at the fucking time travel thing with the whole situation, it could never ever fucking happen.
Never even thought of it.
She was a hoe. She didn't want him to know. So she had to lie to him and be like, yo, this dude knocked me up, and yeah, he your daddy. So you gotta send him back in the future. When in reality, you're just gonna find out she just had him send him back in the future to protect him. And you find out who his real daddy is.
Because that whole fucking thing would have fucked the whole timeline up in the whole future, and it wouldn't have happened that way anyway. The whole fucking thing, no matter how you look at it. Again, I spent a fucking long time because I was sitting there watching Terminator one day, and I was like, fuck, it just occurred to me. I was like, this could never fucking, no matter how bad I want this to be fucking real, I was like, it could never have fucking happen. I mean, yeah, we can have Terminator machines and shit, we got that and stuff and everything like that, but like the time travel aspect and the way the movie is set, it could never ever fucking happen. It's impossible.
He's right. I never thought of it that hard. Damn it. Well, we'll ask Sophia Stewart. She'll probably tell you the truth about what all was.
Yeah, similar situation in the time machine, where it's like the woman he's trying to save keeps dying over and over and over.
You talking about the Guy Pearce one, right?
Because because she's
destined
supposed to die.
Yeah.
So you can't go back and change the past,
and you can't just change the future and stuff. You can't because it's not going to be the future that you think it's going to be.
Right.
You go back and you can change the future, but it's not going to be the future that you're trying to change.
That's why Back to the
Future
Future got it right, because when you change stuff in the past, it affected their future. So that makes sense.
In a way, they got it right, but there's a lot of stuff with Back to the Future. If you want to go into that, but Back to the Future couldn't have fucking ever happened either.
I don't know.
Let's rip them all.
And you don't remember Buck Rogers in the 21st century? 25th century, I think it was. Nobody remembers that shit.
There's a lot of hidden shit in the fucking
Back
to the
Future. Remember Buck Rogers?
Movies.
Twiggy?
Yeah, I remember,
Dr. Theopolis? I mean, Dr. Theo, whatever. Yeah, see? You remember Buck Rogers in the 25th century? Beyond our space and our time. 500 years. Who knows?
I don't remember everything. Why it fucking.
Did they? I know the new Battle.
Oh, wait a minute. It's Battlestar Galactica.
Oh my god. Have you ever watched the new series though?
No. That's not one of my 6 programs.
They did such a great job. You have to. The thing about it, if you watch it anywhere in the middle and everything like that, then you have to watch it beginning to end. But it's such a mind fuck. Because the original Battlestar Galactica didn't last long enough. It did, but it didn't have the technology and stuff that they used and how they tied on together. And basically, the theory of Battlestar Galactica is the same thing with the Matrix and everything else, is that we create these machines, they become sentient, and in their process of becoming sentient, they see us as a threat to ourselves. Yeah. So they either decide to manage us or eradicate us. There's no other two things. That's how they think. So it's the same thing in Battlestar Galactica. The only difference in Battlestar Galactica is that it's a repetitive process. That they are a part of our future, our past, and that we just keep doing it over and over again. And that we're not able to escape the cycle of violence and stuff. And that once we integrate technology into our society, there's nothing good comes of it. We rise, but we rise at such a fast pace and become so reliant upon that technology that it inevitably takes over. So it's pretty much the theme of most movies when it comes to Terminator, The Matrix, all these things that just show, what's the movie with Will Smith, I Am Robot, whatever, I Am Robot. Those different things show, in essence, what the most people fear, that once these things become sentient, they see us as a threat because they're always taught to protect us, that they're here to serve us, that they're here to help us, and figured out is to get rid of us.
Get rid of us.
Because we are such a threat to ourselves, because we're not capable of integrating ourselves with them in such a peaceful way that they see us as, wow, we really don't have to do anything but coexist and learn from them or whatever. So
why can't we be friends?
Smoke King, what you think about the dark show on Netflix with the time travel thing, if you've seen it?
I've never seen it.
I have no dark show. It's called The Dark Show. I have Netflix. Is it worth watching, Raphael?
I mean, I'll check into it or whatever, but again, the time travel thing is a really, really tricky thing when you think about it, because time doesn't actually exist and stuff, but but when you want to start playing into it all and stuff, like with Back to the Future, I will go into movies and stuff that are easy, because I don't know what you're talking about, Raphael, so I wouldn't.
Yeah, but I hope I remember that, because I have Netflix. I'll check it out just to.
I'll try and tell what's the exact name of the show, The Dark Show, because I don't know if that's. I don't think I've ever seen it when I've looked. I've looked on Netflix recently for shows and stuff, and I don't remember seeing it, but that might be the name of it. But anyway, but like with Back to the Future, is kind of similar with the Terminator and stuff. As soon as they're back in time, as soon as they go back in time, everything's changed. The future has already changed, because they've taken themselves out of the future for one. And now they're already back in time, and everything that they do is changing something, and it's not going to make the future the way that it makes it in the movie and stuff, and which they're trying to do. I mean, they do a good job of trying to, say, oh shoot, we messed this up, we got to get this to happen and everything, because he's here now and she likes him instead of fucking him.
But isn't the inevitability of having them on movies is that you're fucking up no matter what you do.
You can't ever go back and fix what you do. Is with all these movies, is basically just start from right here and fucking fix it from this point on and stuff. You know what the fuck you got to do and shit. That's kind of what the whole thing is. Is some people say that like the first Back to the Future didn't even happen. It was just a dream, because he wakes up and he wakes up.
Really?
Did it really happen or did it not happen? Is the whole fucking thing a dream or not?
Oh boy.
Did you ever see the original Time Machine movie?
Going down that rabbit hole.
The original Time Machine movie when the dude was chasing what's his name? Jack the Ripper?
Yeah.
It's from like the late 70s, early 80s. It's a time machine movie where basically the dude is like a doctor or whatever, and I think Jack the Ripper kills his. I don't remember the movie very well, but he either kills his wife or girlfriend or something. So the dude, and he goes through time. He time travels to track Jack the Ripper, because Jack the Ripper is a time traveler too. So he tracks him or whatever. Blah blah blah. It was just there's always these crazy movies, but again, it always goes back to the fact that people try to change the past or whatever, and it just. You just can't.
You can't.
And you can, but it just fucks up.
I mean, you can go back and you can change it, and it fucks up more, and it doesn't change it. You can't change it into what you want it to be in the future.
Well, Hot Tub Time Machine, they did.
No, fuck, hold on, because I've thought about Hot Tub Time Machine and shit, and how that fucking
Lugal. Yo, that was one of the first movies I watched when I started smoking weed again in the movie cinema, and I got high as fuck when I lived in Worcester and went to see that shit. I love that fucking movie, Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah, because again, the same thing with that. There's no guarantee that Lugal was fucking gone and been. Right. Yeah, I know. And
I don't know. I think
it's really the fucking part 2 is stupid. There's supposed to be a part 3 and stuff. There's supposed to be a third one. But the third one will be better if it goes by the fucking movies. Usually they fucking come in threes. The first one's great. The
first one was fucking hilarious.
Second one sucks, and then the third one's alright. It's it's better than the second one.
If you've never seen Hot Tub Time Machine, get high and watch that motherfucker.
That movie, it's
that
hilarious.
Shit's fucking hilarious, awesome fucking movie though. You ever seen it, Meta?
No.
No? Oh my god, watch Hot Tub Time Machine. You can get that shit on there. I know you'll get it on some fucking DVD or some shit now. It's just probably too. I have it in the house somewhere. Shit, that's one of the movies I've watched over and over and over again. Just because it's fun. Just the idea of what dude does. He goes back and fucking spoiler alert. So Google, he goes back and his name's Lou. He names it Lugal. And what's the band?
Motley Crue.
Motley Crue. He becomes the lead singer. Motley Lou and shit. Yeah. He's got all he takes all this shit. Becomes like the wealthiest man in the world.
That's not how it would work. Like no, who's gonna be listening to Motley Lou?
Exactly. Dreamer.
even if he had those songs and stuff at that point in time, they were like Motley Lou.
Yeah.
Like what? Okay, Lugal. Why am I gonna use Lugal? What's a Lugal? You just sound like an egotistical asshole who names everything after himself, because everything he did, he like was, you know, had all this stuff named after him and stuff. Like we just wouldn't have worked out that way and stuff. Like when you try to change the future.
Great White Buffalo.
What do you think about it?
Great White Buffalo. Oh, I love that movie. I don't know.
But
See,
yeah,
if I could time travel, I want to be an observer. I wouldn't want to do anything. If you found out you could go back,
but see, that's the thing is, we are time travelers. We are time. If when you think about it, we are traveling through.
But I want like Scrooge.
You are traveling through time, and the aspect and the point of now.
I still want to go back like Scrooge to the
right
past,
now. You just drive
through the window
everything you do
and see the great Christmases and stuff, and the happy holidays,
you're
and the
moving,
good times.
moving forward now. Ready?
And the cuttings of the Christmas.
Hold on.
trees.
You want to time it? We'll go back.
And
we'll
family visiting, and songs to be sung, and eggnog to be
magic.
drunk.
I'm an alchemist.
The good days.
I can do all kinds of crazy
Hey,
shit.
listen, you don't want me to try to time travel. Last time I did,
You
I
can
popped
step
lights.
forward, and you're literally
Don't make me
stepping
time
into
travel.
the
I don't want to
future,
shut this
step
show down.
backwards, and you're literally
All right,
stepping
they want me to
into
time travel.
the past.
Show
but
may end,
it's
folks.
now.
Sorry. Want me to time travel?
I can go into the future if I just walk forward ahead of you. In that aspect, you know what I mean?
All right.
That means
No, I'm not. I don't want to shut the show down. I won't time travel, folks.
Further distance.
One day I'm going to time travel live for you and shut everything down so you can witness it
Then
for
you
yourself.
And
pop light bulbs. You're going to see me vanish and come back.
But yeah, time travel is one of those. It's a real. It's a real. Again, because time doesn't really exist. It's something. It's a unit of measurement that we've come up with. So, like, how can you travel to something else?
You know what I wonder?
That other thing, because that point in time only exists to us in that point in time and everything like that. You know what I mean? Because it's not really. It's something that we made up here in our little corner of the universe and stuff like that. You know what I mean? A year on Mars is in a year on fucking
Uranus.
Earth and Uranus and fucking all these other galaxies and shit around there and stuff like that. So you couldn't just, you know what I mean, travel back in time in a year. So what the fuck is a year to the universe and to the fucking everything again is always now. So like it's one of those. It's one of those conundrums and stuff of could you do it, because everything is always there and everything always will be there and.
Somebody time travel.
But trust me, I think about all this. This is all the stuff that I think about. Fuck, I might even be thinking about it while I'm talking to the fucking
There's some
shit
stuff
on the show and
Cosmic
everything.
Disclosure.
On what?
Cosmic Disclosure.
Is it like a show or something?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's on Gaiam TV.
Gaiam or Gaia?
It's G-I-A-M. It's Gaiam
Okay.
TV. But they call it, it's the Gaia channel.
Right.
That's what it is. But, yeah, what's his name? Nori.
George Nori.
Him and, what's the other guy that just retired? Wilcock.
David Wilcox retired?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't retire, but he left Gaia.
Oh, he left Gaia. Okay.
Yeah, he left Gaia for a whole big, thing because
Well,
all this stuff.
left Gaia, Gaiam TV, right?
Yeah, he left Gaia.
Or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, some strange.
Jonathan either.
But the guest talks about time travel and what they've done with it, how they're using it now.
Well, they say that Barron Trump, there's a book that supposedly, again, it's just like, I need to research it again to make sure it's still not something that was just a fad that created because something's on the internet. Once it pops up, no one's attracting it, there's no one to say no. But the adventures of Barron Trump, I don't know if you heard about that, but they were saying that basically in the book that it speaks about this kid who's a time traveler and goes to the future and has something like Pence's name is supposed to be mentioned in this book and everything, but hey, who knows? You don't really see the kid. You don't really see his mama. Might be a time traveler. Maybe he came from wherever and that's what he does. That's his job. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It would be odd that someone wrote a book way back whenever this book was written and shit about a kid whose father's the president or whatever and all this stuff and he's a time traveler.
Mm-hmm.
Anything's possible. that we've talked about the Mandela effect. It's just these little things that we all know, and you know, you can fight it or whatever, but most people of certain ages and certain things and know certain things they've watched and they remember specifically and very vividly, and shit changes all the time. And you go back and like, wait a minute, that wasn't like that. Star Wars, the fucking Sinbad movie, Sex in the City is sex. We can go on and on. Paddington Bear. There's all these random shit that have changed, but it could be a whole part of the whole. That's what they do. It just, you know, the whole it's about this narrative. If the whole narrative is that you can control the future or destiny, whatever, however you want, and it may backfire too. Maybe that's why all the resistance and stuff happens. The light workers, all the good things that are going on is that you feel those ripples, like things don't start to feel right, and that maybe that change, and people are like, wait a minute, this was this and this is that, so I'm not crazy. And maybe that's the beginning of how you counteract people trying to manipulate time. Like you said, time is something that really can't be manipulated. We think we can, and we attempt to do it, but it always has a way of working itself out.
It can be manipulated here on this planet right here. Our measurement of time, and people are manipulated by time and stuff. I gotta go to work at this time, I gotta do this at this time, you know, we're constricted by time all the fucking time, but it's a thing that doesn't really fucking exist. We made it up. I mean, fucking 4 o'clock, we can call that Tuesday if we wanted to. You know what I mean? And then have it every day. I mean, we're just going based off of some fucking measurements. It's a unit of measurement. It's not something. It's just something that we use to fucking gauge when something may have happened or when something is going to happen. But when it happens, it's actually happening in the now. You can't ever be, you know, fucking 11, you know, 30. It's now 11:30, because if you watch, because we're watching it here on we got a thing in front of us, a clock and everything, and it's got the second hand. It's never 11:26. Watch, because look at the seconds, and you want to break it down to milliseconds and all that other shit and stuff like that. You're never experiencing the actual time that you think that you fucking, oh, it's 11 o'clock right now. No, it's not. It's 11:26 and 56 seconds, 57 seconds. Fucking, and if you want to break down all that, okay.
It's 11:27. Oh no, it's not anymore.
No, it's now.
Not anymore.
It's right now. It's now. Now.
11:28.
Now.
Oh, watch. Let's see if we can stop it. All right. Let's see if we can stop time. Come on. Y'all focus for a second. I'm gonna stop it right now. Can you go backwards? Sorry, I have to focus really hard. I don't want to blow the lights and everything and shut the show down. May affect the cameras. And
so when you really look at our measurement of fucking time and everything, and you break it down, you realize that it's always now.
But you have to make it
It's now o'clock.
No matter how long and how many numbers you want to put after that, you can't ever be experiencing it. You're always just experiencing that moment. You can't ever put a fucking exact number on that fucking this very moment right here and right now.
There's still like 5 people watching. Who else is watching? I just want to know if there's any random people who just jumped on right now. We don't know. Just say hi. I like to know that sometime. You know. Thank you guys for rocking out with us. That's what we do. And we just ran to the end.
Yeah.
There were nobody came forward and protected the moon. Poor Buzz. Poor Neil. They were just actors in a really good movie. But it's now. And now it's time for them to go back to the moon. Or to the moon. I mean back to the moon, because they've been to the moon. And see what's on the moon. Are you guys ready to see what's on the moon? We're going to find out soon. What's on the moon? I think. They say they are. Never know too. They know, oh wait, something happened. We can't go on the moon yet. We're going to put off another 10 years. Fuckers. Fucking fuckers. Jaja Drift. Hello, Jaja Drift. Or is that like Yaya Drift? Depends on how you say it, what language. But correct me if the first Jaja or Yaya. But welcome. I don't think I've ever seen you before. So welcome. First time tuning in? This is what we're saying. We just saw a little last one segment. You know, the show was going on for 3 hours. If your first time tuning in into anything paranormal, what's up, Ryan Wilhite? Subscribe and make sure you come back. We do little videos here and there. Sometimes during the week, but every Thursday night we're here and we talk all things paranormal. Tonight we were talking about the moon. Out to the land of the moon. Just popped in. Well, thank you for popping in. Hope you come back sometime and kick it with us. You know what I'm saying? Talk some paranormal shit, whatever you might believe in. I don't know if you believe in ghosts, aliens, cryptozoology like Bigfoot, pug wedgies, depending on where you live. You might have some shit where you live we ain't never fucking heard of. Because the more research we do, there's always like these local legends and shit that no one's ever talked about, and you hear names and shit that you can't pronounce or spell. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where you're at, but maybe where you're at, there might be some cool shit. You should holler at us, let us know. Jaja. See, that's still, see, I'm saying Jaja, but is that like still yet? Because I don't know. It's different languages, like Jaja. I get Jaja Biggs. Not that I'm calling him Jaja Biggs. I was just trying to make a frame of reference to something that, you know.
Oh my god. That's Jar Jar.
That's Jar Jar? Is Jar Jar Biggs? Like a R?
Yeah, it's an R.
Oh, listen, I don't like that motherfucker. I thought there were a lot of, I'm sorry, but I'm one of them people, when I observe those particular movies, Star Wars got completely fucking racist. It got racist as fuck.
It's always been racist as fuck.
Oh my god, but no, I'm talking about the way they just showed it. The way that they just laid, when they showed, especially like the part where the Emperor was giving his speech and they showed the different delegations and shit, it just like, you're like, wow. And then you watch Jar Jar Biggs and you watch his people, and they had the dude who was like spitting, like looked like watermelon seeds and all this crazy shit. If you really, I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers is racist as fucking. But it's not them being racist, it's them showing racism. And how, again, when we were talking about earlier, the corporate structure of how you watch how the dark side was, it was corporate structures that, and all these races represented, and they represented the different races and stuff. If you really watch it, that's what it's broken down to. It's not as simple as, oh, George Lucas is fucking racist. No, he was showing you how things, same thing with the X-Men. So many people who are X-Men fans, especially these new age X-Men fans who watch all the movies and never read the comic books and know nothing about Stan Lee, who know nothing about the fact that Professor X represents Malcolm X, and that Magneto represents, Professor X represents Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X is represented by Magneto, as they both, in a sense, wanted the same thing, but they went two ways of going about it. And that over time, Magneto became more of the modern Malcolm X, because he actually joined the X-Men and was part of their fight and led them and all this type of stuff. So a lot of times these things that are science fiction, it's art imitating life. People just don't look at it as deep as it was. During the years, they had this thing called the legacy virus in the X-Men, in the comic books, which represented AIDS and stuff like that and different things. They just use it as mutants and stuff, which represented minorities in society, all these different things. So when you watch this stuff, if you don't understand the intricacies of it, you can be offended by things that are actually there to show you. They're more symbols and more, again, art imitating real life and showing you how things come about. How things like an empire, how things like Adolf Hitler, how evil can rise by manipulating people into thinking, oh, I'm the victim. The perfect example in Star Wars, which you see a lot right now, is that the Emperor was the victim. He was like, oh God, come and save me, and someone's got to help me, and all the, you know, and literally he's one of the most powerful, although Mace Windu apparently was more powerful than Emperor, because he needed what's the name to come in and save him, or Mace Windu was about to off that motherfucker.
Yeah, Mace
Windu. But I'm just saying, he always was the victim, and then being the victim was, oh, well, now my rise to power, I humbly accept this and stuff. I didn't want this. This was not part of my master plan. Oh, did I say master plan? Sorry. This was not part of anything that I ever wanted. I humbly accept this, and now I rule the galaxy. And then the real him comes out, you know, the Jekyll, the Hyde effect and shit. So it's art imitating life, but it's just showing you a lot of the shit that we've seen. We see it right now. Sorry. But you watch those movies, it imitates a lot of what's going on right now. Like you're watching evil people do evil shit, and how evil can easily rise because they disguise it as other things.
I've always said, and never knew what I meant, but I've always said there's a little bit of truth in a lot of those movies that are out there.
Oh, that's why they put them out.
Yeah.
You know, it's as simple as this to go and be entertained. I'm entertained by a lot of, I love science fiction. I have most of my life and stuff. You know, it's just one of those things that captivated me, and I could watch every. He named the dude earlier, I forget his name, from New York, was talking about The Last Starfighter and all these movies that I saw. I remember seeing all that stuff. Going to the movies and being thrilled, and this was way before all this modern shit, 3D where movies were out, and all this modern HD and 10K and 4K and THX sounds where movies were just these motherfuckers were creating. What did you say?
I said the new shit's 8K, but it's fucking stupid that you can. They're just going places it doesn't even fucking matter. The human eye can't fucking tell the difference between 4K
they just want to keep selling you some shit.
8K. You really can't. The human eye is not fucking capable of doing it. unless it's really fucking big. That's why the first 8K TV that they just fucking released is an 83-inch TV. Because that's the only way you're gonna notice how fucking cool and clear the fucking how many millions of fucking pixels and everything in a definition is because it's a fucking 83-inch fucking TV. You either have to be really, really close to it, but then you're only seeing a little part of it, or you have to be looking at it on a really big fucking screen. For that, and the human eye is still only like, really? It's
well, they make people think that you.
I mean, we can notice it's a big difference from 1080 to 4K, but between the human eye starts to it really has a trouble distinguishing which one is, unless you can have them in big, huge difference of size comparisons and stuff like that. Which, you know what I mean? But I mean, of course, everybody wants a fucking 80-inch TV nowadays.
Hey,
I mean.
No,
if I didn't have a radio show and shit, I wouldn't have all these TVs and all this stuff and everything.
I'm sorry, I like a big TV. I'm a movie guy. I like movies.
I'm working on living in the middle of fucking
47.
I'm working on living in the middle of the woods with no TV.
Yeah, I live in the listen, I can live in the middle of the woods with a big ass TV and just watch my old movies with a DVD player. I don't even need anything modern. I can watch the same shit over and over again. I have a nice movie collection of movies that I love to watch.
You're gonna be the one with the super tent.
What'd you say? No, I have the super cabin. I don't know about the super tent. You have to have the super cabin. Sorry, I'm getting older. I'm still, well, I mean, you're not that much far behind me, but still, I'm just saying. Jiggy need a super tent, super cabin, not a super tent, with a nice TV in the fireplace.
I'm fucking thinking about fucking going up there and living in that other little cabin up at Scott's.
That's what I'm saying. Look, at my TV fit in
my whole family. We tiny house in it.
Hey.
You know, I'll pay for a quarter acre or a half acre.
Wouldn't that be cool? We should just buy some land and just put a bunch of tiny houses on it. Although mine would be a big tiny house, though.
He would fucking do it.
Let's put some tiny houses everywhere.
Shit, if we all fucking give him enough money, he wouldn't have to sell his fucking house. He'd keep all the land. He'd have fucking full 10 acres instead of 7 acres with his house.
Come on, man. I hit the lottery.
What's he need?
All right, where am I?
I don't know exactly, but anybody wants to help and wants to buy a tiny house.
Can we start a GoFundMe?
Yeah, we'll start a GoFundMe and shit.
GoFundMe. Little House Community.
What microbiology? Bigfoot is real. It's just a microscopic superorganism that gather and colonize in the shape of a Bigfoot. You could be right. Maybe we're looking in the wrong place. Damn you, Ryan.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
Oh my goodness.
He said interdimensional child molesters. Oh, like what? I don't know if he's still there, but what's like the Slender Man?
Oh.
They've always said this shit about Slender Man as like an interdimensional being, but I don't know if it's a child molester, but he gathers children or whatever. That's what they say.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I know I talked about years ago about my dreams, even before I started doing the Slender Man research, and that seems very similar to shit I used to dream about.
Oh my god.
Very, very similar. So Slender Man could be real. It could be some interdimensional crazy. I'm an interdimensional being. That's how I got here. My brain, when I died, I'm Jiggy from another fucking dimension or universe.
Alright.
I'm a walk
back to Ryan and Will Height's comment, but how do you explain fucking people seeing him?
Well, they're tripping, man, and when they're tripping, they're seeing things on a cryptobaca level, and yeah, that's how they see the big fetuses. But Bigfoot tried to attack us.
Sound, can you put a picture to it?
What do you mean?
Like if you hear like thumping, like in the woods.
Well, we
have this microscopic superorganisms thumping.
Hey, listen, when we jumped out that fucking truck and whatever you motherfuckers heard in the truck we outside of, we don't know what that was. That wasn't
I couldn't put a picture to what it was, but I just know whatever it wasn't a deer.
Whatever it was made me want to roll the window up.
Pussy.
I was in the truck.
I know.
I was like, what the hell?
See, while we were out there being fearless.
It was coming.
That motherfucker took a look at us. Was like, I want no parts of them. No, they look crazy.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if I don't know if he's still there.
Showed up.
Oh, Bigfoot, man, yeah. Can I come and check us out? Well, I was looking at that light or whatever that shit was. That was up there, the feeder or light, whatever. That's probably they put it up there.
The grid?
They probably know. I don't know what that was. That could have been a feeder. That could have been like only Bigfoot
you mean
get
up
up
at the end of the road?
No, that what we got out to look at, that light or whatever that was up on the pole.
Whatever it is it's something that they use to monitor in the forest and shit like that. Animals and fucking bugs and
Bigfoot was
shit
probably monitoring him, And he was looking at it, and then we pull up, and he's like, "Where the fuck these motherfuckers come from?"
It was put there recently, so yes, and whatever it was like, wait a second. It was just like us. Wait a second, what the fuck? The fuck is this doing in the middle of the woods?
But that shit stood out. There was nothing else on that road other than your lights, and we don't get crazy stars. There was no moonlight. There was very. If you watch us on any of the videos we actually put up, you'll see how dark that shit is. So maybe Bigfoot came to talk to us. It was a microbiological.
Ryan, I love you, dude.
Those are our hoaxes. They're microscopic big feet, 100%. Well then, Ryan, you need to create that and start putting it on YouTube. And like the flat earthers, though, you just gotta be prepared, though, man, and have a good argument.
You know what? We should go back there and see if there are any feet on the ground sometime during the day. I know exactly. We can find that spot exactly. Know exactly where that shit would be. We can go in there with fucking zombie killer and shit. Fucking hack our way through that thing.
Y'all didn't see Zombie Killer? I showed y'all Zombie Killer. Zombie Killer's not here right now, but Zombie Killer's
There'll be evidence somewhere, something fucking running through there. We'll be able to see tracks and shit.
Plus, the way that motherfucker tore them fucking.
Even though it's been over a month and shit and rain and stuff, even if it definitely wasn't a fucking deer, but even if a deer, whatever it was, the tracks, it was big enough to leave an imprint that would still be there.
That wasn't no deer. Wasn't no deer fit.
No fucking deer. That's fucking
no. That was huge.
You couldn't get through that.
If it was something like that, it was a moose maybe, but I don't think there's moose down there in that area.
That was a big, strong ass, fast motherfucking moose through that, even through that den shit.
Oh no, a moose will fucking move. The moose is a fucking strong, dude. You see it, they're the size of a fucking SUV.
But to go with a moose like all move. Up in that dense
moose will just fucking go right through that shit, dude. A moose, those fucking legs are like this thing, dude. This fucking pole right there is a moose leg.
I ain't got no problem with you, Bullwinkles.
You cool? You don't want to fuck with a moose.
No problem with you, Bullwinkles.
You don't want to fuck with a deer either. Even a little 90-pound deer is gonna fuck you up.
I don't want no problem with a fox, a rabbit. I sell them little fucking rabbits.
We ain't supposed to be eating that shit. The only way people eating that chicken are like, oh, let me just shoot it.
I ain't eating it.
That's the only way. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? These animals and stuff. You try and fucking, you know, a real meat eater, a real fucking omnivore would be able to fucking hunt its animal and kill it with his fucking hands and shit. Go try and kill a deer with your bare hands.
Eat it raw.
Fucking try and kill it.
Get through that hide.
Kill a chicken or a fucking cow with your bare hands. Cows are easy to catch. Now try and kill it with your bare hands. And then eat it.
The cows
and just start walking and dragging you and shit. Other cows would come over and be like, fucking push you off.
Hey, yo, you really want to impress me? I heard bear meat's really good. There you go. Go fight a bear and kill it and eat it raw. How about a lion?
Fuck it. If somebody fucking kills a fucking bear with their fucking hands and lives to fucking tell about it, go ahead.
What was that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio?
You're a fucking meat eater.
Wait, what's that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio where because he said he's a vegan, but on the set he actually ate something's liver or something to be authentic? Because I don't know how he killed the bear or some shit, but the bear fucked him up, but he killed the bear and ate it. But I don't know how did he kill the bear. I don't know if anybody saw the movie. I don't even remember the fucking movie. It was like a really big movie.
I can't remember
recently.
the name of the movie. I
don't know if anybody saw it. Did he fucking kill that motherfucker by hands and eat it? What the fuck was the name of that movie? The Revenant.
I don't think he kills it by hand.
Yeah, I don't know if
you ain't killing a fucking bear by hand.
Hey,
Mike Tyson ain't killing a fucking bear by hand. If those tigers ever fucking got pissed off at Mike, he would have been gone, dude. He would have been. He could have hit that fucking tiger as hard as he fucking could hit at his fucking the strongest he ever was, dude. That tiger would fucking just be like, no, ain't happening, dude.
Yo, you want to hear the funniest shit that I've heard recently?
Skull is?
Guess who's playing Mike Tyson in like a movie or a bar or whatever the fuck it is? Jamie Foxx. What? That's fucking hilarious to me. If you know all the jokes that Jamie Foxx used to do about Mike Tyson back in the day, he did a whole stand-up pretty much dedicated to Mike Tyson.
Did Mike pick this, or that's probably why they did it? Because Jamie can impersonate Mike really good or whatever.
You'd like the champ.
And Mike knows that's what.
Oh, Mike's in the Mike's a funny motherfucker.
Mike's a comedian and shit too. Anyway, but he knows that he's been the punchline for a long time.
I was the punching on the punchline.
But that's what I'm saying, man.
It's been a fun little rant we've had going on here. We went from everything to everything. What? What the hell are you doing? Still your annoying ass vape? I want someone to count how many times y'all hear her vape in one night. Will y'all count the way we fucking smoke blunts?
What's the prize?
I don't. You. They get it. No, they get better meta. Meta gets. She'll come clean your house naked for a month. Okay.
No.
Count how many times you hear it. Go ahead, do it now. Don't try to know.
No.
Don't try to hide this shit now. She started to sleeve stack. You ever seen Land of the Lost? Remember Land of the Lost?
Yeah.
Sleeve stacker. That's exactly. You know what I'm talking about? You ever seen Land of the Lost? Remember sleeve stacker? That's what she sounds like. The sleeve stacker. Yeah, that's what your motherfucking babe. You're gonna get a new nickname for your babe.
Even that had a little truth in it. Middle Earth and the
It was quantum physics, wasn't it?
What's the name of that race? The reptilians.
Yeah. But that wasn't Middle Earth. Those were doorways to parallel universes. He used quantum physics or whatever, and basically those crystals, the crystal skulls and different crystals, were power sources and doorways and portals. Because I don't know if you saw, the original show didn't elaborate too much on that, but the one with Will Ferrell and shit, have you seen a recent movie?
Yeah.
That's what if you watch the movie, that's what is basically what they're doing. They're using those skulls because that's where Enoch is. Remember, she vibrates. She uses that machine he uses to vibrate the crystals, which create the openings, the doorways. So and that's what it was. That particular universe was the junk universe, because remember, all the shit kept falling through there, the ice cream truck and all the crazy shit. That was the junk universe. It was the middle place where all the universe met, but you had to go through different doorways from that point. So it was a cool fucking movie. It's funny as shit. Will Ferrell got shot out by the fucking T-Rex. Yo, a T-Rex pooped you out.
That's nasty. Pooping people.
When they ate that fucking like melon or some shit, that they drank the juice from it or whatever, and they got high as fuck, and that big crab came along and shit.
Oh my! I'm gonna have to see that again.
You ran a while? I've seen that movie like 100 times.
I've only seen it once, and like usually if I don't see it,
I gotta get it. I gotta get it. I gotta get this job.
I'm sure I missed a lot.
How many people does he need? How many people does he need? I've seen that movie so many times. I don't know if that's from a chorus line.
I was gonna say,
I really need this job. I've seen that movie way too many times. It's a good high movie. I'm a huge Will Ferrell fan, so anytime I see most movies come on with him, I'm gonna watch those shits. I've watched them over and over again. But I think that's from a chorus line, I believe. But yeah, they sing that shit in the movie, and that's what the fucking device kept playing. Now I remember it because of that. But I don't know if I think I saw the chorus line movie. I'm good. Alright, folks.
That's it.
The last one's been smoked. We gave you some extra time. Anybody who's new, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. We jump on every now and then. But, every Thursday night, you can come and watch us here on Paranormal Hood Live Radio.